Hello, welcome back to the Gratu Orlov Show, episode 410, coming to you live from the Great Gratu Orlov International Building of Trade, floor 7, room 2, the theater room. Brought to you once again by satellite from Gratuville, Tennessee. And Dr. Silverage says hello once again because we just ended episode 409 not 6 minutes ago. And we've got 2 people watching. Hear that? 2 girls for every boy. 2 people chatting for every Gratu. We had 8 people in the last stream. They just haven't meandered their way over yet. Let's see. So, Dr. Silverage, if you want to come in too, that'd be cool. Maybe you guys can cheer me up. All Gratu all the time, says Dr. Silverage. And there's Meyer Greenblatt's here. And Vince Capley, artist, is here. Hey, I'm counting 4 people, and it says only 3 people are watching. Somehow YouTube's math is off. Well, hello, good evening. This is Melvin. So, there's Graphic Man. Let's get him added in. Hey, Graphic Man.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can hear you fine. So, what's been up? You were on vacation, right?
Yeah, I was camping.
That sounds like fun.
Had a blast.
So, when did you get back?
Friday afternoon. Just trying to get caught up on everybody's live streams. And then Night Tiger goes and makes some 17-hour broadcast or something.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw that.
Yeah.
What was that? That was on a Sunday night, or was that 2 Sundays ago? Was it not on maybe it was a Sunday?
He had contacted me and said, hey, can you be on Sunday? I said, I think so. I'll be back in town. But he went and I think he did it like on a Thursday or a Wednesday.
Okay. It could have been a Wednesday. I remember it was a day I was working. Yeah, it was amazing. He had Captain Strangelove. He kept holding on to Captain Strangelove. No, you can't go. And then he finally went. And then he got these 2 young guys that were like barely in their 20s, and they had amazing Golden Age collections.
They sure
really
did.
Encouraged me.
It was Knights of Old and some other gentleman.
I've never heard of young people that young collecting Golden Age, ever. I think Joe Simon's grandson, he seems young. I don't know how old he is, but to me, that when I started collecting comics, that just seemed like something old men in their 50s collected, that were there when that started. And then, I just thought that's not even possible to collect that. So I didn't even think about it ever, which was probably foolish. But,
well, I guess it shouldn't be a shock to us because you and I both like books that were made before we were born. But it is kind of odd that a 30-year-old is going to go get something that's 30 years before they're born. Or something like that.
Well, I would have been getting them when I was young if I had access to them and the money. And people say, well, they were so cheap back then, but no, they really weren't, because when, something was $100 in the 70s, that was like $1,000 today. Yeah. People don't understand the difference in that. They don't get it. That's why politicians can lie with statistics so easily, and history teachers can teach and really think they're telling you the truth when they say that, in the 1800s, people only lived to be 35 years old, and that's just not true.
Yeah. Can you imagine someone who's 30 years old, seeing something like this and being able to just pass it by, I can almost understand why they get into it, because to me this is way better than Picasso or Rembrandt or any of those
Yeah.
guys. Um,
Is that a color copy or is that a real
Yeah.
comic?
of course, I find a very good image online, and
Yeah.
if it has a rough corner, I'll stitch it up, with
Okay.
airbrush or graphics, on the computer. And I found this great little print shop in my town, and if I'm not careful, I'll start spending way too much money making posters, because I just think that
Do they
that's
let you
gorgeous.
operate the machinery yourself?
No. I pay for it, but I just hand them my little bitty jump drive, and I told them, look for this file name,
Yeah.
and they print it out. In fact, I said, look for the Marvel Tales, and unfortunately, I had another one on there instead,
Oh,
and so he come back with this, and I go, well, I'll take that, but I want you to find this other one.
yeah.
So I went ahead and put that in a frame too. But
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you could probably set up a business on eBay selling those little as posters.
and I think I can take about 2 or 3 images online, and maybe, let's say, all 3 images are a very fine plus, so they got some creases, and I can manipulate and graphically take that away, so that the print will look like it's near mint.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Night Tiger though had a point that those horror comics with little bits missing kind of look even better
right.
instead of looking perfect like they're just on the stand. Um, yeah. I want to. The first thing I want to do when I get to a copy shop. The last time I went to a copy shop, they wouldn't even let me in. They came to the door and took it and went in and brought me back up. Because it was you just can't go in, all the disease. And you can't take that to FedEx because they'll look, oh, this is copywritten,
Yeah.
and we can't do that. They've been that's been beaten into them that they will get in trouble, even though the copyright is 70 years old.
Fortunately, the place I go to, there's 2 guys there, and I don't think they've ever read a comic book, so
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good to go.
I want to get the image from that Jerry Lewis Dean Martin movie, that comic book that never existed, printed and on my wall.
Oh yeah.
That Bat Lady comic. Did I show you that?
After you talked about it, I went and watched the whole thing, and yeah, it looks pretty good.
But I mean, do you know? Have you seen a close up of that comic that was on the wall?
Yeah. I can't place where it was, but and then you mentioned it to somebody. I don't know if it was Mayor Greenblatt or somebody.
It was in some stream, probably.
Yeah,
Let me see
yeah.
if I can't pull it up for people that don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, that was an amazing, epic thing. It went on, I think, 5 hours. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Oh, you're saying hi to people. Yeah, Eric Breen found me a copy of that Fantastic Four annual #1 at
You
his
get it?
at his comic shop. Yeah, he told me, he's holding it for me, and when I get
Well,
paid,
yeah, excellent.
it looks like it's in really good shape, the type shape I'm used to. Okay, let's see. We can pull this up.
Well, maybe Eric can get busy and get that action number 1 through 15 set aside for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see, this is a really nice scan, although it looks like it was photographed through glass. I can see a reflection, but this would look good. Let me move it over. It was never seen close up in the movie, but But this is their.
Is that an image viewer you're looking at? If you clicked on the actual image, would it then make it show up in a bigger window? Or
Well, oh shoot! You're right. I haven't. It did open up in a bigger window, and I thought I was showing it to you. So I've got to stop that stream, or that. Hold on, I've got to. What happened when I clicked it? It opened in a different window, and I thought I was still showing it to you. So this is so annoying. How many times you have to click to open up? There must be a way to go around this. Okay, I think it's this way. Okay, now do you see it? Let me check and see what it looks like.
yeah,
Okay,
I see.
Now you're seeing a little bit of it. Okay, this is
I
the
see
bottom right corner. That's the cartoonist name from the movie.
Yeah, Abigail.
So they've got a whole barrel of blood. So yeah, I'll scroll through it. It says King of the Comic Books, MP. But just these great ghoul-looking guys. And if I saw this comic book, I would buy it immediately. It almost looks like an underground comic from the 60s.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I was talking about here. I think there's a reflection that was photographed through glass, but it was auctioned off. This is the original art that was used in the movie, and it was auctioned off recently, so it showed up online.
Looks very nice.
Yeah, so I would like to do that same thing and make a copy of it.
Yeah, I would like to go looking for before comics. The Marvel made something called Marvel Tales, but they were pulp, and some of those covers were real sci-fi looking. They would be really cool to have, but I just haven't got around to looking.
Yeah. Well, so I've been doing these live streams where I just show cartoons and things just to I feel like I'm a broadcaster, just because I figure it'll be fun to just broadcast a bunch of shows out, but I don't know if people are enjoying it or not. Let's see. Meyer Greenblatt says, "Hi, you've got a veteran show on Wednesday, right?"
Yes, I'm getting a few books together to show that, and I think it's going to look really good.
So it's like a July 4th almost kind of thing.
Yeah, it just kind of worked out that way. Wednesdays have been working out really good. So,
yeah. So Graf Zombo is asking if you would mind mentioning where you shop.
Oh, and I typed it. I thought he wrote, "Where's your shop?" Like, no, I don't own it. It's called Quick. It's called Quick Print, and it's in a town called Springfield. So, I like the area between Springfield and Branson and places like that.
Is there a place called St. Joseph near you?
No, that's I think that's up near St. Louis area.
Oh, okay. My wife saw some house up there, and she was wondering. She keeps asking if if you know anything about that area.
All the people in St. Louis are going, no, that's St. Charles. I think I meant to say it's near. It's more north around the Kansas City area.
Okay.
As a good Jack Benny fan, I should know that better because he would joke about St. Joe and how they loved him in St. Joe. So.
Yeah. So.
Zombo is close to me. Oh, I could probably meet Zombo sometime.
Yeah.
Did I say hi to everybody that said hi to me? I said hi to Dr. Silver Age in your last.
All right. Yeah, I think he's still here. Wait, there's more.
And I said hi to Man Bear Pig. I've seen him in your videos. I have no idea what he looks like, but.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can see that. The Joplin. Okay, that's what you're referring to. So, Oh, Christopher Schneider is here. He was watching the stream earlier.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Chris, if you're still watching, you'll like Wednesday's episode. I believe Chris served, and he was stationed in Belgium, if I remember correctly.
Have you found any other people, or is it mainly going to be you and Meyer?
Oh, you're welcome to come on. You got any good? It doesn't have to be World War II, but it can be just military in general. I've got a few Air Force, I've got a few Navy, I've got a few Marines, but let's face it, Army comics were the most popular.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of war comics.
All right.
I didn't know if you were wanting World War II era or not.
No, I'm really starting to like seeing a lot of Korean War books. The 50s always showed somebody getting ready to bayonet somebody.
I've got a good somewhere. I think it's Man Comics or something where a bayonet's about to go through somebody.
Yeah. I love the title Man Comics. I don't have any. I'll be showing a few scans, but I love the title because you can't publish that today in today's crazy world. I just love the idea of man right there on the cross the street.
Yeah. Well, that's I really like the Eric Green's show that I guess he did last night, the live stream with the what was it, Geekery with Dante D, I think is the name of the channel.
No, I'll have to check that out.
But it was amazing how much what both of them were saying that I agreed with, and what Eric was talking about. And I've said something similar, is that, I always say when I read Spider-Man comics, I liked the parts where he wasn't in his costume. It was more fun just to see about his life and what was going on. And he talked about the cast that all the other comics had. And now he was saying that now it's always some extinction level event, and you never even really see them in their regular civilian identities. And I don't know. I haven't. The comics look horrible. They're getting worse every week. Yeah, I mean, I can't even believe what I'm seeing.
Hey, I saw a stream last night. I think his name was Comic Geezer. I'm going to get that all wrong. But I joined in the chat. He was doing an unveiling of a book idea he has. He's going to self-publish it based on public domain characters. One is this monster Cthulhu.
Cthulhu?
I pronounce everything wrong. I can't even say Charlton, So
Cthulhu, I guess that's H.P. Lovecraft. I guess it's in public domain.
And the character Uncle Sam, which was last used by DC Comics, but before that was National Comics.
Yeah.
And so he's going to have Uncle Sam fighting, I'm going to mispronounce it again, Cthulhu. And Cthulhu. And the Nazis, in World War II, the Nazis have, I guess, got the monster to fight on their side. So he goes up against Uncle Sam. He's got this big, I'm going to make this book. And he wanted a Kickstarter for people to help him out. I can't really help him money, but I could sure spread the word. He showed a few images of it, and it looked kind of good. And I'm not into modern comics, but if it's based on a golden age type scenario, I'll look at it. So if anybody's watching that, might check that guy out. I think it's Golden Age Geezer or Comic Geezer. He's the guy that has a red curtain behind him. It's got the Wonder Woman logo. You've probably stumbled across him a few times.
I'm sure I have. Let's see. Eric says, "Did you hear where Dante said he was 33?" Yes. It's not just those old men who are finished with today's comics. Yeah, and he was also talking. They were both agreeing about the smell of old comics.
Yeah,
and so, I mean, that's great. I wish that. Classic Comic Collector.
Is
Wait,
that the okay? Maybe that's
okay,
the guy.
it's oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. He has kind of a reddish beard and his hair tied back, and he's got like a Wonder Woman curtain.
Yeah. Well, it's red, a red curtain with the Wonder Woman yellow logo.
He's been
Um,
doing comics. In fact, that comic from the Golden Age called like Boy Comics.
okay.
Yeah, he started it like he continued. He's made issues that start where that left off because I guess it's in public domain. And
And he showed an image of Adventures into the Unknown, and I'm going to say they ended in issue 248. So he's going to continue at 249. I got the numbers all wrong. Of course, I just got his name all wrong, but I can say enough about it that somebody like Breen will figure out who I'm talking about.
I was starting to think you were talking about him because he's the only person I know that's made his own comics, and his main thing is he likes to collect romance comics.
Yeah, yeah.
And he also did or I don't, I guess he's still doing it. Here we go. I'll share his page. He was doing a really cool interview series where like a secret origin series where he would talk to different collectors about how they got started in their childhood. And here's his page. Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam live Kickstarter launch party. Huh.
Yeah, and I don't think he had very many people watching it, but me and a few others showed up later, and that kind of energized him to keep it going. And he showed a lot of images. Now, some of the images, if you're not, like you said earlier, you're not a big fan of these variants, but he'll make a few variant covers and you can choose. But it's going to be like a limited 200 issue run when he finally gets going on it. He's had other videos where he explains the dangers of printing a public domain character because someone can always claim they own it. And so there's a group that goes around and pesters you if you try to make a Sherlock Holmes book and they don't really have the rights, but they get enough lawsuits that you have to pay them off, and that's how they kind of stay. That's how they make a living. Yeah.
There's odd little. Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Hey there, fellow classic.
There he is.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I don't know why I thought he had red hair, but something about him makes me think he has red hair.
You're seeing the reflection of the red curtain on his silvery beard, like me. So,
yeah, but this is what I was talking about, his origin stories, and I know he did. He's talked to different. Let's see.
Well, I'm glad you're showing that. I'd like to be able to give the guy a plug, and this is great.
Yeah, no, he's great. I've been watching him for a long time.
I've never met him. Yeah,
he's
Crime Buster.
Yeah. Scott Harris here. The first shipment of books has just arrived from the printer, so I thought I'd do a little unboxing.
So his name is Scott Harris.
Show you what's arrived.
His name is a hyphenated name. I don't know if that's from his parents or
Oh, it could be.
Here it is. Oh, it's the sketch blanks. Can't wait to draw some stuff for you guys on here.
I've often seen some of those sketch covers. They're just blank. And I often thought I could do something horrible with that and in watercolor and make it look really nice and turn it into something that no one could ever sell. I could do something horrific with it. I'm always tempted to but I don't want to pay the $10 to buy a comic with a blank cover. But boy, could I have fun with that. Yeah. So, yeah, he's really good. And I'm trying to think of maybe there's some other people that do comic videos that are really cool that maybe people don't know about. I think he's pretty big though. I think he's into romance comics and he's a big time collector. He's got like an Avengers #1 and stuff that I can't even dream about. Yeah, it's just a weird world, where Wolverine had a pink cover this last week,
Well,
and
didn't they make him into a girl now? I can't. I don't know that. I don't know anything.
there was I think on the cover there was a girl, and I was told no, it was a guy with claws that had a ponytail, and I was told that that's his son, who is, I guess, bisexual or gay. And I said, I didn't know he had a son. And she said, yeah, he had a son back in the 80s. Oh, really? Because I don't remember that.
I don't know.
Before he had the daughter. And I said, oh, yeah, I guess he did have a daughter, because I saw that in that Logan movie. And I guess there's a whole comic, X-23 or something, so that's his daughter. Okay. Because I'm like Rip Van Winkle just waking up, and it's just like, oh, yeah, then on an alternate Earth, Wolverine is dating Hercules, and it's like, what? Are you kidding me? I didn't say that. I said, oh, really? Because I was trying to be polite.
Yeah.
But what?
That's why in my mind everything stopped in 1993, and everything is exactly how I remember it, and nothing progressed since then.
Yeah, that's exactly. Let's see. Eric Green says X-23 is a clone of Wolverine named Laura Dakin. Dakin is his son. And Dakin is non-binary or something, whatever you call that, non-binomial. So I don't know, but
that means he's ambidextrous. I don't.
But I agree with you about comics, and the same thing with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things just stopped. But I wish everything could have stopped, because right now I feel like it's really a scary time, and I very depressed. My wife is, I have to keep comforting her, and because we're a heartbeat away from like someone that's like a weather lady in Dubuque becoming president of the United States. I mean, she's a totally incompetent, cackling moron, and only went to the border a few days ago because Trump is going in 2 days. So immediately they scrambled. So you got to go there before him. And then she goes like 800 miles away from where the problem is. And it's just unbelievable. And I don't know.
I wish Trump's people would have scrambled and said, let's do what it takes and get him there, even if it's just 30 minutes earlier than her. Because I think she went to make sure that he couldn't say, where's Kamala? I can't see her.
Well, the problem is and I'm going to sound like a nut saying this.
Taco Bell. That was funny.
But it's not just that they're incompetent. They know exactly what they're doing.
The bookstore.
And it requires that you believe there are forces out there. And I know that you do. I don't know if everyone in the chat does. But what's going on is, people, they're trying to get everyone to fight with each other. Turning everybody against each other. That is their goal right now. It's all they talk about now. And when people fight against each other, then bad things happen, and then they can have. And ultimately, it requires that you believe in Lucifer, and who wants to destroy everything that God created. And so they're trying to get rid of. Movies sometimes predict what really is happening. And so, this stuff with Thanos and getting rid of half the population because he's a social justice warrior.
Yeah.
That's what they really want. They're the Georgia Guidestones. They want the Earth to have a population of what is it?
500,000 or something.
Like 500 million instead of, 6 billion. So that means they want it down to a manageable number. And then then they're even going to turn them against each other. And I
notice that the crowd that wants to limit our population, they never lead by example and go suicide themselves.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about this too much, but it's just like every night, you know, the what's his name, John McAfee, like that's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. There's no way he committed suicide. And then, so ultimately, you know, I think that everyone has, unless you don't have any common sense or any radar and don't realize what's happening, it's not just that the comics are getting bad and the movies are getting bad. It's the world's, I've never seen anything like this.
They've got a new movie.
41, things were pretty bad then too, but
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this movie called Karen.
I did, yes. It looks like it was made it looks like it was made by college students, and I just resent that women. It's a perfectly good name. Women that are have that name, it's now taken on this connotation. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and
but they didn't allow Karen to be this crazy woman going around getting mad at people for not wearing a mask. They made her into the most stereotypical white supremacist. It's what Twitter thinks every white person is this Karen lady. Even to where she has soap dispensers that have the Confederate flag on them. So if you've seen my video where I walk through my bathroom and I show my soap dispenser has Mysterio, who fights Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, it's just what it is it's people trying to create a problem where there really isn't a problem in order to create dissension. And ultimately, I think that Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call him, wants to reduce the population down to 2 people and then have them like take out each other. And then everything will be fine because you'll have destroyed everything that God created. That's, you know, if you come at it from a religious point of view, and if you don't believe in, if you're an atheist, you still got to realize these people aren't atheists. They believe they're the people doing all this are trying to, and it's the more that people learn about the people really behind what happened over the last year or so, and their involvement in it, and that's probably all we should really say about it. But it's and the fact that we have to couch what we say because freedom of speech is completely out the window.
Yeah,
is ridiculous. And so it's very depressing. What we're going through, and so I'm just like I feel like I'm just existing day to day, and I just need to it just gets to be kind of, you know, there's just no way to just isolate yourself in a bubble and just pretend it's not happening.
Well,
maybe
if I was your doctor, I would prescribe you need to go to one of those boxes you have nearby, pull out a couple of books and read one every day just to get your mind off of network news.
I don't watch network news. No, that's the worst thing.
I mean, you know, whatever your feed is, whether it's Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, or The Blaze, or whatever you're getting your those are all great sources, but sometimes I go do like I do, just go camping and had no internet for a week. So I'm trying to get caught up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But see, I went for a physical the other day and all was fine basically, but you know, when it came around to that question, you know, he spent 20 minutes talking about how bad it's going to be in the next 2 weeks with this new D variant cover. I'll say something to make it sound.
We know what you mean.
And it's like, oh, it's going to be so bad. And it's like, if you see what I see with all these people that are having to walk around with oxygen tanks for the rest of their life, and they have to have mobile oxygen tanks. And it's like, why am I not? I don't. I mean, I guess he sees it every day because he's a doctor, but his opinion is that it's just horrible. And of course, last year when I went there, the V had not been invented yet. And or actually it had, but they weren't letting us know until after the election. So and I said, do you think all this was man-made? And he says, no, some things he completely bought the thing about the bat. And I'm thinking, do I need another doctor? Because this guy didn't really. And then he was saying, and I asked him about Billy Boy G, and he says, oh, he's one of the great global citizens, the greatest global citizen of all time. And it's like, oh my God.
You told me all that on the phone, and I told you, get a new doctor.
Yeah, I know, but I just I have to go get blood pressure pills, which I don't think are working anymore. But let's see. Myers says it's depressing. I try to stay focused on my kids and grandchildren. Family is a blessing. Yeah. Well, I don't have any children, but we've got a dog. The doctor sounds like an ideologue. Yeah, he is. But now I've got a whole year to find another one. So I just needed to go to get the new prescription for a year. Maybe in a year, I won't even be here. Maybe I'll be out somewhere. Sounds like an oxymoron, Zombo says. Yeah, I don't know. It just, it's like I can't escape it everywhere I go. The doctor's office, but I don't listen to the network news. No, that was.
Hey, when you said you just went to the doctor, I went about a week ago. They asked me to put on a mask in the waiting room.
I had to wear the mask in there. He was wearing one. That's the last place, because all the places, including this donut shop near me, that they were one of the last holdouts. And
it was weird because they want it in the waiting room, but then when they call me in the back, no one's wearing them. I get on the scale. I sit in the little the examination room. They do blood work, the whole shebang, no mask, but you go right back through that waiting room. Got to put the mask back on. And I hadn't had it in so long. I just kind of keep it in a pocket. Oh. And when I pull it out, it was all wrinkled and looked terrible, but we haven't had to use those in the longest time. Yeah, he says a comic a day. That's like an apple. You should just get a comic out. I tell you, when you go camping, it's great to take these reprints.
Yeah,
because you don't have to worry about damaging them too bad. I mean, they're 1970s reprints, but some great Steranko, Kirby, Ditko.
Well, the value in those is actually going up, where they're not just like quarter books anymore. They're worth $3, $4, $5 sometimes. Because but until they started deleting a page or a few panels here and there, I thought they were perfectly good.
I should make a video next time about, I'll show you what was cut out. Or
that would be excellent. When did they start cutting? In the early 70s?
I never really noticed they did cut. I've always heard they do.
I'm pretty sure someone must have a website somewhere where they talk about what's cut, because people get into all those details. But I'm pretty sure when it was Marvel Tales and when it was the thick square bound, that they weren't cutting anything because they didn't have to.
Now, in the 1980s, when Marvel Tales kind of started over and started once again reprinting.
Oh yeah.
When they go to something Aunt May is saying about Chet Lee and Hunt and I'm going to say it wrong. I'm the king of saying it wrong. Mm-hmm. David Brinkley, before I was born, he had this guy with them. Is it Chet Huntley? So they had the
Huntley and Brinkley.
Yeah. So she's making a reference to that in the 60s. And so I guess they thought no one would understand what they're talking about Aunt May getting upset that she missed that news broadcast.
Right.
So I think in the book they change it to where she's upset that she missed the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I'd like to pull that out and find that and show that.
I think they did that kind of thing earlier on too. I know that in some of those, there were 3 comic books called Crazy about a year before the Crazy as a magazine came out from Marvel, and they reprinted Not Brand Echh, and they updated some references there as well. As I just trying to
Huntley and Brinkley,
yeah, I don't remember what the references were, but there were some.
Of course, now no one would know who she's talking about as far as the Dukes of Hazzard. Anybody under 25, and you'll never see Dukes of Hazzard because that car has that emblem on it, and that's a big no-no. One time I was watching PBS, and they go, "The following contains, terrible scenes, and hide your kids and all this." And so I'm watching it. I never saw anything bad, and then it dawned on me what they were worried about. They had the flag, Hitler's flag, the swastika, and I'm like, "Well, that's historic."
Yeah. Well,
not that I'm in favor of these flags. I'm just saying you got to acknowledge they were there. So,
yeah, as far as history and movies, and comics. Let's see what Eric Breen's saying here. Graphic, that was an insult line. In the original, it was your cousin likes line to swag. Your cousin watches Dukes of Hazzard. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
that's a good memory, Eric. Good memory.
Yeah. Was that Aunt May talking?
I believe so. And I think somebody wrote a letter to them, and they printed it saying, "Hey, we noticed you changed something." And then I think they were making a joke. We could have really updated it, and they almost give Aunt May a mohawk. They were just kidding around. But here's Marvel Tales taking a whole page to laugh at themselves. So I hope they're not cutting much out to make room for that.
What Myers talking about earlier, I ran some news from the 70s, and this the news lady was talking to this in the first punk clothing store in England, and they, there was some of them, a lot of the clothes had swastikas on it. She says, "Well, why are you wearing that?" She says, "I just think it looks nice." I guess it means rebellion, but there was no. It was, today someone that I don't. Weird. It's just unbelievable how things have changed, but.
I see we're both doing a water bottle. Have you? You still have your bubble up handy?
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, I haven't. I did that earlier, but yeah, I'm trying to move everything around in here and try to make it livable, because so other people could come in here besides myself and the cats and watch movies. Yeah, I was worried about this pain that I'm having in my abdomen. Well, it's not really a pain, just soreness. Like, you've done a lot of sit-ups, and he said, well, it could be a fatty liver. And then they did test, and there was nothing about that, at least not that I could see. But I do need to stop drinking all that Coke and all that stuff.
And is your shirt a splash page from what issue?
Shit, if I know. Probably Eric Breen would know, I'm sure. Let me move the camera. It's easier than standing up. I don't know. They got the Black Knight, so it's
and Goliath.
Yeah.
So that would be Hawkeye as
I'm
Goliath.
guessing 71, something like that.
Yellow Jacket. Yeah. So
it was just something I found in a store that looked cool, that wasn't pre-aged for me. I hate when they try to make the shirt look old.
Yeah. Yeah, I can handle that all by myself.
Does anyone? Yeah. Does anyone else want to come on and talk with us? I'll put the little link again. Anyone else want to stop in?
I'm gonna have to meet Zombo sometimes.
Oh yeah, Zombo. Maybe he can come on now if he's got his lights set up and everything.
What's Eric's comment about? I just read Around the Block with Dunk and Lou because I listened to Dr. Graphic Man.
Where's that? Oh, I didn't see that one. I skipped over it. I just read Around the Block with
Dunk and Lou.
Because I listened to Dr. Graphic Man. Dunk and Lou. I don't know what that means either. Gold Key Geezer says maybe in a bit. I would, but I have a stream at 9. He's heavily booked.
That's right. He'll go and they'll talk about current events on Ingleteen's channel.
On which channel?
You remember that guy that came onto my stream, talked about Justice League and Teen Titans with us? He has a ball cap. He's in Florida. He's the one that runs the auction every Sunday.
Oh,
or Saturday.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's Breen's going on his here pretty soon, and they're gonna they talk about current events or so, whatever. They pick like 6 topics of the day they want to talk about.
So. Oh yeah, that sounds really interesting.
That was a humor book from Dell,
published in 1961.
I should know that because I love Dell. Boy.
I wonder if Tom Smith knows about that. Yeah, I've done some epic live streams with Tom Smith he showed all these humor magazines from the 50s and all the issues have cracked up to the early 70s.
Yeah, Tom was a hoot when he was telling you, "Hey, I think I'll take my shirt off."
Oh, you said.
And then you stepped away, and Paulo came on and joined Tom. Right. And then at one point, Tom says, "Hey, Paulo, let's take our shirts off."
I guess I haven't watched that part.
It was just slightly uncomfortable.
It's like, no. Well,
Tom, if you're watching, I mean nothing by that.
No, I think it was blazing hot up
it was
there.
Humorous,
and,
I bet.
But yeah. So yeah, his collection's phenomenal, and
so how does you make it sound like he's got them laying on top of each other in a closet?
Yeah, I think that's literally what he has.
Like paper,
like stacks. Yeah, that's how I did it when I was in 3rd, 4th grade. Well, I don't know. They could be upright. I don't know. I haven't seen the closet. He just magically pulls out stacks. I think they're stacked. But that's how people collected comics. All the Golden Age comics that people have that are in 9-point whatever condition, that's how they were stored for 30 or more years. I mean, people didn't know how to store comics. That's a relatively new thing. Well, in the last 50 years. But yeah, they were stacked up, and so that's but yeah, he has some of them bagged. I think most of them are bagged though. But
how long have you been streaming today? I just got off work and noticed you were on for like 4 hours already or something.
I was doing things. I just put on shows, and then I put Hugo like right here, and then to make it look like I'm there, and I'm doing things. I may not even be in the house. I went and got food. I've been working upstairs, downstairs, washing clothes. I just let it play, and it's just like, I just put on stuff to entertain me while I'm cleaning. I figure, well, I'll let other people watch it too.
Are Are you able to do anything with Hugo, like put him in a little wheelchair and make him look like Professor X or something?
Well, you could. He's kind of like, you ever seen one? He's like a puppet.
Oh, okay.
You know, you can. He's kind of like
Well.
this. You know, basically, I put some buttons on him when I was in high school. He's got "I like Ike," and that one that I can't read out loud. And Sid Nancy. Maybe I was in college, and I'm for Nixon.
Yeah.
I guess that's blasphemous to puncture the cloth of the sacred toy, but I've still got all his accessories, and you can put them on and make him look horrible. And I've got his little beetle wig over there too. Oh, here's Tom Smith. He's gonna come on and get you. Let's see.
Oh,
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, I think that's literally what he had.
I'm watching you and Graphic Man talking about me a few minutes ago while I'm watching the news stream, so it's a little confusing.
Oh, you're saying it was awkward when you asked to take your shirt off.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's always
you know, I tell you, it's hotter now than it was then. I'd like to take my shirt off now.
well, here,
Stim's
Tom.
gonna
Let's just
come
go
on.
ahead.
Yeah, if you do it, I'll do it, Graphic Man. I swear I'll do it.
No,
It's freaking
No.
hot here.
we don't want to break the internet. So
It's
So,
hot.
so yeah, we were talking about how you store. I said I think you stack them.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because before I came on here, I just spent the last couple of hours restacking my comics in my closet just because I had 2 stacks of comics in chronological order, but I thought I should consolidate them. I wanted to have the 80s all in one pile and the 90s in another pile. So that's what I did. So now I got a 90s and an 80s pile there.
Okay.
You know, I have a lot of stuff I want to show you still, a lot of comics and magazines. I have some you actually would be interested in, Gra, too. I mean,
What does that mean?
well, I mean, I know when we showed my comics in that other stream, you weren't too interested in some of them, but
Well, some of those, I don't know. I did put
there they are.
in my pile that comic that you recommended, where the character looks like Sylvester P. Smith.
Kid Death and Fluffy.
Yeah, I there was one. It looked like it had 2 different covers, so
Yeah, it does.
the one I liked the most. One he's like flipping you off. I didn't get that one. That was
Yeah.
a very early variant cover.
Yeah, I picked the one I wanted too.
So yeah, that's a great cover on that.
Yeah, that's one of the best covers. That's a Kelly Frias cover. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yours is in a lot better shape than mine. I've had my old crazies since I was a kid, and they're in terrible shape now. That is hard to find. I have it, obviously, but that super special is hard to find, Graphic Man.
$1
That's all you paid?
3 weeks ago.
Oh my, oh my. That's how much it cost when it came out.
Those crazy,
And the bag and board there as well.
Yeah, that's a great issue too.
My ASMR friend has that one as well. She showed it in a video, a reject issue. Yeah, that was a pretty cool cover. Man, these are nice.
Yeah, that era, the first like 12 issues.
Here's Dick and Jane.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
That
right
was-
about on the cusp of where I think it started losing it.
Yeah, that was, what issue was that?
Oh.
14? That one there?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, that's the last really good issue. And then 15 Paul Lycan took over
This-
editor. So
this
he's
should be
editor
in a-
on that one. That was not as good. That's 17.
Yeah,
See,
but that
that's-
should be in a museum right next to the original of Delaware Crossing.
They have
Well,
great
that one-
covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the insides aren't as good.
right.
Yeah, like that.
Bionic Man.
You know.
Yeah, see, that's into the bad era.
Yeah.
I
It's just
used to
But
notice a Mad magazine on the cover of Crazy. The
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a cheap special they did. Yeah.
the Jimmy Carter years.
Yeah.
I loved these when I was a kid, though. When I was a kid, I really liked these issues because they were easier to understand for me.
Yeah, back when I was a kid, the sign would change. You know how many billions were sold, and here's where he's eaten so much they've changed the sign while he's still there. Now they just say billions and billions sold. Oh, that's the back. There we go. It's a Star Trek.
That's just before it got good again. That's number
And,
60.
Of course, the crazy guy is operating the transporter.
Yeah, so a
and,
couple issues.
the
The next
Nebbage.
issue is really good.
Last one. Here's Marlon Brando Superman.
I've never even seen that one.
Yes, 52, I believe.
At
And-
some point, I just got sick of them, and
There's Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah,
And it must be some sort of Polaroid commercial
he did commercials for Polaroid. Yeah,
because I've never seen that. Apparently, in the commercial, he's like in somebody's bedroom, and it's really freaking them out. So
yeah.
I didn't know if I'd ever be on when you guys do your little magazines, and I thought, oh, I wanted to say, hey, I've got some too, you know.
well,
But,
sometimes we wind up doing it in the morning because Tom's schedule's kind of reversed.
now, Tom, you're a big parody fan.
Yeah,
So here's organic gardening with the Fantastic Four.
I've never seen that.
It was closer.
That's neat. I've never seen that.
It's a real magazine
Wow.
about gardening, but they wanted to do a tribute to the FF #1. And so
weird.
instead of the mole man, it's an actual mole. And they're not in New York City. They're out in some garden. And I love the thing. He's got a little spade in his hand.
It almost doesn't look redrawn. It almost looks like they kept most of the original drawing. Then just
They,
altered the background.
Who would think a gardening magazine would have any interest in
They
comic
mentioned
books?
this. I don't know if you can get real close, but they mentioned the cover in the indicia.
Yeah, there
Like
it is.
the organic gardening staff got the April Fools, and they talk about Fantastic Four #1 from 1961, and they give credit to Jack King Kirby and Stan Lee and Saul Brodsky. So of course the rest of it, you know, it's all about gardening. But
That's
I
amazing.
put it with my humor magazine type things.
Maybe
And
it's the same company, publishing company that did Marvel.
I
Well-
guarantee here's humor magazines you do not have.
I know you wouldn't put it with your gardening magazines because you probably don't have any other ones. So
You don't have Captain Collator #1.
That's nice.
You know why you don't have it?
Because you
Because
wrote it?
I made this when I was very young.
Yeah, I
You see,
figured.
the guy looks like Captain Klutz,
Right.
but in
I'd
this,
buy that. If I saw that, I would buy that because I love those weird amateur things.
so,
That's great.
uh,
I would buy that.
Yeah, that's neat.
I know that Grotto doesn't like these things, but I love these. I'm just kidding, Grotto. It's just
No.
so here was issue #2.
Oh, that looks really good.
So before computers, you know, I would manipulate the image. So obviously, I'm doing this with paper, and of course, it was a wraparound cover.
That's nice.
But it's basically just cheap knockoffs of Mad Magazine. And so here's Captain Collator. He's been captured by these crazy-looking creatures. And
Are there other copies of that anywhere?
no. And those guys do show up again.
Wow.
And
That's-
well, here,
I would buy that just like that. If I saw that in the 3 for $1 bin, I would buy it right away.
this I'm pretty young here. Well,
You should put that on your front door.
Death to Intruders. So he meets Governor Clinton, which would become president. And
Is that the first appearance of Clinton in comics? Because I have the first appearance of Obama, and it's supposed to be worth like $300. So
No.
that could be worth $300.
It
No,
actually could be. Honestly, it might actually be.
if you found that, you'd want to burn it because it's atrocious.
I
But
like it.
I enjoyed doing that. So basically, I just showed it to my family, and they had no comment. So it was that bad.
Let me find my.
I've energized him now. See,
I'm gonna find my Kid Death and Fluffy comics over here for RawTube.
Okay.
So
See, I don't really know. I'm just going by your advice that I found them in a box, and it's this comic. It looks like Sylvester P. Smith, and you say it's good.
Wild.
When did it come out?
When did it come out? About 96.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see here. Must be in my other pile. See, I want to go through all these comics with you someday. I got lots of neat comics that you haven't seen. Like, I think you'll like some of these, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what your schedule is.
I don't
still
either.
get through Cracked.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of depressed today, so I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys, you know?
I was just saying the same thing. I don't know how long you've been watching, but
No, I didn't hear you say that.
it's really depressing just because, I mean, I don't know what exactly is going to happen in the world.
Yeah, I get
Are we
depressed.
are we in the end times, or is
Yeah.
it?
Here,
pretty
I love this
Hey.
art.
Wait, before I show you, I just found this. I'll show you this early.
Hold
Hey,
on
I
a
want
second.
you to see.
Yeah, that's crazy.
See
man.
this guy in the ladies' room and how shocking that was back then.
Yeah,
And now anybody can go to Target. So
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. What's the artist name there? That's artists that work for Cracked, right?
Yeah.
Vic Martin.
Right.
Martin,
We were just talking about him.
He did
And
Hud and Denny and a bunch of other
The
stuff.
the faces on some of these gals are tremendous.
I remember that page.
I
I haven't seen
remember.
that in years.
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there's the coyote.
I got to show him the Richie Rich parody from Crazy 69 as well sometime.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Is there any way you could show Graphic Man the Richie Rich Bitcoin thing?
Yeah, before I do, is Tom still watching?
Yeah,
Sure.
I mentioned. Here it is on the bottom. Gotta go backwards. I said I think I found the first appearance of Rom Space Knight.
Oh,
Now you take a look at his face,
Yeah.
and this is about 2 years before Rom Space Knight. Now I know that's not Rom, but
yeah.
when you see something like that,
This John
Oh,
Stevens used to do those crazies. Oh,
it's a 12.9, so it's it's really good. So
that's funny.
there.
So did you make that too?
Yeah, there's the see the Graphic Man.
I see it. Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
started
you're there.
right after Little Lotta.
Richie Rich Bitcoin. That's hilarious. That's great.
So, by the way, Gratu, I've got it's an 11 by 17. When I find a roll that will let me roll up, I will send it out to you.
Oh, cool.
So, are you guys familiar with Atlas Shrugged?
Sure.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Ayn Rand? Yeah. Have you heard of this comic Elvis Shrugged?
No. Here, let me blow it up.
It's
Well,
actually
He did more than shrug.
Yeah, it's a critically praised comic book. It's from Revolutionary Comics, and it kind of follows the story. So what's going on is all of these singers are disappearing, right? They're just vanishing off the earth.
Right.
And the only ones left are Frank Sinatra and Madonna. And Frank Sinatra, that's him. He's taken these steroids or something that's made him young again and made him into a big muscle man, you know?
Oh,
And Madonna and him, they team up to put together an album because the whole industry is ruled by like a Warner Brothers type company, and they're putting out, crap music, bad stuff, and all the real talented people have disappeared. So they are trying to figure out what happened to them, and Elvis comes in the story because the thing everybody says all the time, like, what do they say in Atlas Shrugged? What's the question everybody asks?
Where is I forget the name of the guy.
Yeah.
It's
I don't remember either, but in this, is Elvis alive? That's what it is, right?
Hey, we got a guy. We got Gold Key Geezer dropping in.
Hey,
what's
good
stream?
And it follows the story, and
Cool.
It's pretty neat.
Hey,
It's
Gold
pretty
Key Geezer.
Hey guys, that's who is John Galt is the question.
Right.
Who is John Galt? There you go.
Hey, I'm not in a position to be on camera right now, but I just sitting on my deck. Just got finished doing some yard work.
You have
Pretty
no
sweaty.
shirt on?
My shirt's on.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Gratu and Graphic Man and Tom as well. I'm a big fan of you guys. Watch your videos all the time. In fact, I'm launching my own YouTube channel inspired by you fellas. The first video is like processing right now. I don't have any kind of extensive collection like you guys. I kind of explained that in the video. Like I said, it's processing right now. But thought I'd just stop in and say hi.
Will it be Gold Key related?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Mostly, yeah. Gold Key Comics hold a special nostalgic place in my heart because my mother used to buy those for my sister and I.
Have you seen
And,
Have you seen my video about Gold Key and Whitman?
Oh yes, absolutely,
Good,
I have.
good.
Yeah, yeah. Great video, by the way.
Well, thank you.
But anyway, yeah, like I kind of concentrated mostly on like the action adventure titles, things like that. Particularly the painted covers. But those were the ones my mom would buy for me. I was kind of a DC kid because I was a Batman '66 fan, and I kind of just gravitated towards Batman and Detective Comics. But I would then, from there, discover my favorite comic, which is Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm gonna like add some of that to the channel as well. Like I said, I explained it in the video, and you will see my face on that. But it's processing right now. I don't know if I'll get it up tonight or tomorrow. But anyhow,
So I need to find your channel.
Gold Key Geezer. I don't have any videos yet.
But what is your name on there?
That's what it is.
Okay.
It's a sub channel of it's a, I guess you'd call it a brand channel. For my my real name, but I mean it's there.
I just got to figure out what words to look for.
It should be gold. It should come up Gold Key Geezer. I hope it does.
Gold Key Geezer.
Maybe because I don't have any videos yet. I don't know. Well,
maybe. What's the video going to be called that you're putting up?
I haven't given it a name yet because, like I said, it's just actually, it's not processing on YouTube yet. It's still going through the video editor processing.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, but gosh, I'm not sure why you can't see it. I mean, it is a YouTube channel. Oh, that's very nice.
Well, is it the channel that you're using right now?
Oh yeah, maybe we can click on that.
Because all you need to do is click on his name, and it'll go right to his channel.
Well, that's true. If you write something, you wrote in the chat, so that should So let me see how that works.
Hey, those are some nice nice books there, Graphic Man. Boris Karloff's one of my favorites.
You said painted cover, and I thought, okay, I got some painted.
Oh yeah, love that stuff. Unfortunately, and like I explained it in the video, all of my gold keys are gone. So like I'm restarting. Oh yeah. It's just an unfortunate thing. They were at my parents' house and they're both gone, and my sister and I are cleaning it out, and I thought they were still there, and I don't have them. So I am basically restarting this collection from zero.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a
I'm going to try to do what I can. I have a few feelers out there, and I got a few books on the way. So we'll see how it goes. Well, yeah, Boris Karloff, one of the titles I used to buy as a kid, or my mother used to buy, I should say. Yes, I think she thought that gold keys were like, I'd buy the DCs and the occasional Marvel, but I think she had it in her mind, that they were like more wholesome, and I guess in a way they were. Especially when you looked at like the the licensed cartoon properties, Disney, Warner Brothers, Walter Lantz, stuff like that.
Oh, I love Funny Animal. If I thought I wouldn't bore everybody, I would do an episode on just Funny Animal. So,
do you, Graphic Man? Do you like Boris the Bear?
I'm trying to place.
Because I think that was like the funniest animal comic.
Wasn't Boris the Bear from Spire Comics?
No.
That's
it's,
Barney. Yeah.
From
Barney.
Dark Horse.
No, I didn't know. I didn't
Oh,
know.
I was thinking of the Born Again Bear.
Yeah, Barney.
It's a fantastic. If you find any of those in your shop, Grotto, you should buy them. You think that they're just like a rip-off or something, but they're hilarious. They're beautifully drawn. They're great stories. It's a parody comic starring a bear, and it lasted for about 38 issues or something. It's really a quality, like independent comic from the 80s.
Hey, speaking of Whitman, I've had this comic since I was a kid, but I just recently found another copy that I think it's pretty rare to find the Whitman variant of the first issue of DC Comics Presents.
Yeah, I believe DC or National or whoever at the time was taking the same route as Western by bagging comics, putting the Whitman logo on them, and selling them like in 3-packs and stuff in retail stores and things like that. I believe that's what that's from. But yeah, it is pretty rare. I have never seen one in person.
I mean, I have some from when I was a kid of like Action Comics that used to be worthless, but now they're valuable. Where I would get them is at the PX. When my parents went shopping at the PX, there'd be packs for like 79 cents of 3 comics.
Gold Key, did you say your video right now is rendering and it's being created in the background?
No, it's still going through the processing in my video editor.
Okay.
So then, once that's finished, because I have a couple segments that I stuck together, but once that's finished, then I'll upload it to YouTube, and that little process that it goes through there. So I don't know that I'll get to that tonight, but it'll be up either later tonight or sometime tomorrow. And it's just kind of an introduction.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for my first few comics to come. I did purchase a few. I found one comic at my parents' house, and it's actually a Mystery Comics Digest from Whitman. It's the only one of those I had, and somehow I guess that survived whatever purge happened there, So I'm starting there, but I do have like some of my. I was really into, apart from Gold Key, I was really into. Well, we didn't call it dystopia back then. At least I never heard it as a kid. But I was really into the future gone bad type science fiction stuff. So that's why I kind of liked Commandy so much.
Oh.
And also at Marvel, they I think it was Volume 2, Amazing Adventures, was the Killraven War of the Worlds run.
Yeah.
That's another big one for me. And Mighty Samson, which is a Gold Key comic. That's the post-apocalyptic one. Doomsday +1 Charlton title. It was a short-lived one, but so I do have some of those, and I'm going to show those as well. But yes, Eric, that is the name of the channel.
Yeah, it's the same channel he's commenting from. So if you comment on the video itself, not in the chat, people will be able to go to your channel. They can click on it.
Once the video's finished, then you comment down below, then we can easily link.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, I'm not gonna tie up a space here. I just wanted to stop in and say hi, and I follow you guys all the time. I appreciate your videos. Really informative. You guys have a lot of knowledge, a lot more than I do. But I love comics, and I love listening and talking about them. So I'll keep listening. So I'll see you all later.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
See ya.
He didn't sound like a geezer. He sounded pretty young.
Well, what I need, what would be really good is Graphic Man. You've got a lot more knowledge than I do about Gold Key and the names of the artists that painted the covers, and I think that's a great source of a video that maybe you could do, because once we know the names, and then I could pick out the styles, because there's I can tell there's several different artists, but I could just tell from the way they painted. And then I'd also like to know, maybe what they painted with. Was it gouache? They weren't painting with oils, so it must have been acrylic, gouache, watercolor, a combination, because those covers, for the most part, were gorgeous.
Sometimes, if you just type in Gold Key cover, sometimes you'll see an image and it's the original art, and you click it and it takes you to Heritage Auction, which that's for the big boys to play. But they always have the artist detail listed, and if you're lucky, they'll say acrylic or I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that would be the way to do it. Yeah, but there's a lot of mystery as far as Gold Key goes on all the artist names and things.
So this is Boris the Bear. This is the first issue.
Oh, I've seen that.
So what happened was there was a ton of comics at the time that were trying to imitate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You guys probably know about that. And
or were they trying to get Rocky the Raccoon that appeared in the Hulk book, 1980s? It's the Rocket Rack. It's the same one that's in these movies now. The Guardians. Yeah. So, because that instantly reminded me of the raccoon.
But this was a surprise hit. So what he does is he goes around, he kills off all the other comics that were just, filling the marketplace, because it was a glut in the marketplace in '86.
Right.
And it was a big hit. But you think that would have been a one-issue deal, when he was doing that? I mean, he goes through it, and the artwork's really nice. I mean, this is the first issue. It gets even better, like, in the later issues. But it's this was Dark Horse's first hit. This is what launched their company. And he goes after, Usagi Jabungo or whatever his name is.
Well, that character is real hot now because there's a cartoon being made for Netflix or something.
And he kills Cerebus.
He sure does.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to survive that. Oh, he does survive. Wow.
Yeah.
He's tough.
Briefly. And he goes after the others, like the Miami Mice, the real crappy ones that were out at the time.
Yeah.
And the turtles themselves, he even kills them. He smashed that guy's head and that turtle's face in there. See?
Wow.
I hope the next page he's going after the Care Bears.
The Care Bears are in here. How did you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can find. Oh, and it's weird because even Ambush Bug is in here. Do you guys remember Ambush Bug?
Yeah.
That was a good comic, too. The Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, which I like, by the way. I think that was a really funny, one of the funnier of those type of comics. There's a lot of bad ones, but a few of them were really good. And it even goes into like, now it's really funny because, oh, there they are. Here's the Care Bears. See?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's funny.
If only he got a clear shot.
But he has a human friend, like there. His grandfather created the bear to be a friend for his grandson. And his grandfather is based on Peter Cushing. So he looks like Peter Cushing, and he's a scientist. So you think it would have been a one-shot deal, but it went on and expanded. And, it's just amazing. The parodies are really great. Like there's his origin issue here, the Bear of Steel. This one, he was burying all of the characters again because they were still around, but this is the last time they did it here. This great cover. And then the Punish Bear. No, that's not the Punish Bear. That's G.I. Joe. That's when he meets the characters from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, they're making fun of the border that Marvel had for their 25th anniversary.
That's right. In this issue, we exercise our right to arm bears.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I never even.
That's a great play on words too. Yeah.
And this one is really amazing because the Thunder Agents by Wally Wood.
Yeah.
Were there were like cheap imitations of it because I guess it was in the public domain at one point in the 80s. And so a bunch of companies were coming up with their own versions and saying they were the original Thunder Agents.
Yeah, from Tower Comics. Yeah.
Right. and Solson even did one. So what he does it, he takes that on like himself. Like it becomes very, I don't know how to say this to you, but you know, like there's commentary on what was going on. Like the grave robbers are digging up the characters here because they're digging up Wally Wood's, you know, creations, and they're, you know, desecrating it kind of. So he has to rectify that, Boris the Bear. There's one where he defends Jack Kirby too, because you remember when the whole Kirby versus Marvel thing was going on in the 80s.
Right.
There's a whole issue of Boris the Bear where he defends Jack Kirby from Marvel's lawyers. And it's brilliantly written, and it's really moving actually too.
Do they change his name any, or is it just
No,
Jack Kirby?
no. He even uses a pen, like one of Jack Kirby's pens, as a weapon against them. Like you have to read it to know what I'm talking about. I can't do it justice, but this comic is great.
And the artwork looked really good.
Yeah, it's really good artwork too. Yeah. So what happened is after the 12th issue here, the birthday issue,
Yeah.
he had a falling out. The creator had a falling out with Dark Horse, and he wanted to move. He wanted to expand the character and make it more realistic in some ways, I guess. So he went on his own and he started self-publishing Boris with Nick-A-Tat Comics was the name of his company. The first one was the Punish Bear issue.
Oh wow!
That's Boris's stuffed animal pet rabbit Pookie, and sometimes Pookie comes alive, but he doesn't realize it, and Pookie helps him out sometimes. So it's pretty neat.
Like a little Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, before Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
And number 14 is an interesting issue because like the artist's pen takes over the issue and it starts erasing things, and it's hard to explain. It's like a surreal issue, basically. So many different things going on. You see, here's like an adventure issue, Adventure Day.
Yeah, I'll look for this comic now. I never noticed.
Tom, with the name Boris, would he have a Russia origin or something?
I think he doesn't like that when people assume that.
Okay.
But here's like they have these great double-page spreads too. This is like a haunted house issue where this gang of delinquents goes in there and they have this adventure in this haunted house. You know, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I bought every issue I could find. I'd buy every like all 37 issues or whatever it is if I could find them.
Did you like the Tick?
No, I didn't really like the Tick. I didn't like the artwork.
A friend of mine told me to buy it, and I didn't like the artwork, but then the cartoon in the 90s started on Saturday morning, and I loved the cartoon, so then I sought out some of the comics.
Right.
But to me, the cartoon was better than the comic. But
you said 37 issues. If this was monthly, this would be 3 years. I can't imagine it's monthly.
No, it was on and off. So it was from 86 to about 91 or so, I think.
I remember seeing it on the shelves. I remember that logo.
He even fought in the Gulf War later on against Saddam. This one is who are these people? Do you guys know? I think they're actual comics.
Is that Thunder Bunny from
Thunder
Charlton?
Bunny? Thunder Bunny's a good comic too. I've got some issues of that as
The
well.
only rabbit I could think of is in that Star Wars Marvel comic.
It was Captain Carrot. I don't know if he's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, so this is a good comic. I recommend this. So, see, I don't just collect crappy comics. I got a lot of good ones too that are more obscure.
Who said that you only collect?
Well, I thought you had I thought when I showed my comics first time, you were like, I don't want to see any more of that crap. I just want to see the magazines or something.
I never said that.
I'm insecure. It's not you. It's
No,
me, you know?
no.
But have you guys heard of this Myth Adventures?
Yeah, I remember that. Is that good?
It's okay. It's based on a series of books that were big
Right.
sellers that are, you know, humorous fantasy books.
Yeah, I avoided it because I was afraid that that would turn me into Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't usually buy comics like this. But the earlier
No
issues
offense
are
to
better.
people into that.
The earlier issues have Phil Foglio art, and he's a great artist.
Uh-huh.
He did this art, you know, and it's a fun comic. It's not really my forte, you know, just like you. But like in this issue, they have a comic convention, and I always like that when there's like comic conventions in comic books. Or
Yeah, I'll be willing to try it out. What do you think of Gru the Wanderer?
You know what? When I was a kid, I loved Gru the Wanderer, but as an adult, I can't get into it because it just seems it's very repetitious, you know, and there's not a lot of advancement, and it's like they crank the things out. There's like hundreds of issues, and it seems like it's the same things over and over again, the same jokes over and over again. Mark Evanier, or whatever his name is, how do you pronounce that? But he writes with Sergio Aragonis a lot, and he's a good writer, but he gets preachy sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's added. You know, it might have been a better comic if it just didn't have words, like his marginal.
There's
Yeah.
Thunder Bunny. Yeah.
So do you have some Plunder Bunnies, Graphic Man?
No, but I saw them all the time, but I never picked them up because there's so much competition for my dollar, and I had to get other stuff. But
I didn't pick this up for years either, but I just did it. And when I was doing the 3 for $1 thing, I picked up like 300 comics, like I've told. And I found this is really good. It's a quality, a comic, really well drawn. And it's based in reality because, see, I don't like them when they're just fantasy. I like it when
Right.
there's reality in them as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's set on Earth, like our Earth. He just happens to be a rabbit on our Earth, you know, a superhero kind of guy. And I like that about it. So, yeah, Thunder Bunny's a good comic. It's the same publisher as Myth Adventures. Let's see. And then they also published this, Fantasy. Or Fantasy, maybe.
Okay.
With Captain Obese. So the idea of this, each issue featured, okay, thanks, Eric. Each issue featured Captain Obese. And the guy who wrote this said that, you know, all these superheroes are these good-looking guys that we can't relate with. We should have a guy that most comic readers can relate with, you know?
Right.
well,
So
we don't need to go to the other extreme, though.
I think DC's done that now. They've got an overweight girl that's supposed to be the daughter of Lobo, I think.
yeah, but that's probably crap, though.
And then there's an overweight girl that's the daughter of Starfire from the Teen Titans.
This is well drawn, and it's good. It's actually
Yeah.
good, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys watch a comic channel on YouTube called Antonimo Bay.
I don't know.
He likes to collect. He especially likes sexy comics, so he collects like these AC comics. You ever heard of AC?
Yeah.
He collects all of these types of things. I rarely ever find these, but because I watch his videos, I decided to try a few of them, and they're not bad actually. I thought they wouldn't be that good, but they're not bad.
Well, they reprinted a lot of Golden Age stuff, as I recall. How do you spell Antonimo Bay?
That's a great question. I just guess, and sometimes I find his channel, and other times I don't, because it depends if I guess right or not.
Well,
So
they
I
think I'm searching for Guantanamo Bay.
yeah, well, just like ANTONIMO or something like that.
Oh, well, maybe I can type in comic books after it and get something.
The reason I don't subscribe to him is because he shows a lot of action figures, which I have no interest in. So I don't want my stream filled with action figure videos. So I just look up his channel every once in a while and get lucky when I can spell it right. And
I mean, you don't like what YouTube suggests?
No, I don't like anything they suggest.
There's Ambush. Yeah.
Ambush Bug. This is the whole run. It's all in one package here. And the stocking stuffer.
Yeah, I never tried that either.
It's funny. It's really surreal. It's hard for me to explain it if you've You know, if Graphic Man's read it, he knows what I'm talking about.
Is it like Deadpool or She-Hulk where he talks to the reader?
It's not like those, but no, it's not like those. You should get it, guys, because there's all these salutes to Golden Age comics in it too. Like there's a whole issue where he talks about whatever happened to all these obscure Golden Age characters that nobody remembers.
Right.
And it's amazing, like especially if you know about the characters, you know, like what happened to Sugar and Spike, and I don't know, like I can't remember what issue it is. If I knew, I'd show you, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And the Nothing Special. That's what they call it, Ambush Bug Nothing Special. And like I said, I really like this one too, Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters.
I remember that.
I didn't buy this for years because I thought it'd be awful, but it's hilarious. It's out of this world, like weird comedy, and the artwork might take some getting used to, but it's really, I like it though. It's really weird art, but I like it. The later issues had Sam Keith doing the art, who I don't like. I don't like his artwork, but apparently people think he's one of the best artists in the industry.
What was that comic Neil the Horse like?
Because he did the Max. I've never read Neil the Horse, but I've heard of it.
It looks like that has really cool art.
See what else I can show you. These are all the comics I've been reading more recently, the ones I'm showing you right now. Like these are my recent acquisitions from the.
You seem to have
for $1.
late 80s, early 90s independent titles.
I have a lot of those, yeah. A lot of those. I love those.
Do you have any gold, silver, or
No.
Okay.
No, I don't collect the older ones because they're not as interesting to me because I like the weird stuff and that's more mainstream stuff, you know. So it's an acquired taste. It's a niche taste, but that's what I've got.
But you're the comic book store owners. They would love you because you come in and clear out all the stuff.
That's what I do.
The regular customers.
That's what I do. I look for the stuff nobody else looks for. And
where I live, they fly him in probably.
Rick Raygun and Quasimodos. It's a weird comic. It's kind of fun. You can make me full screen if you want.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Kratu, get working there.
Just so people can see these. Space Beaver. Now, the funny thing about this is the guy that created this comic, he said he had no idea about other meanings of the word beaver.
Oh, of course not.
So he said he wished he would have picked a different animal, you know.
Like hedgehog or mole.
Very sheltered young man.
Captain Keen and Company. This is by Gary Fields, who worked for Crack Magazine. He's a really nice comic artist. That's an entertaining comic. This is a pretty shitty comic. Oh, excuse my language there, but
it's all right.
It's the Mighty Mites. I kept it anyway, just because it's a parody comic. So, like, they make fun of the X-Men, the X-Mites.
It looks terrible.
It's too much anime. I don't like anything that looks like anime.
In Japan, they call characters like that SD for super deformed. When they turn characters into these little baby versions, they call them super deformed.
Don't they all look like that, though, in anime?
Well, when they're real stubby and baby-like, they're called SD.
The whole joke in this issue, if you read this, is that there's reams of dialogue and the characters are always feeling sorry for themselves. They're always anguished all the time because they're supposed to be like the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole joke, basically.
Yeah,
and then this
what
one,
Graphic Man was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Of course, they did the Batmite because everybody had to do a Batman parody.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's not very good. It's weird because the guy who did this kept trying. There's like 3 number ones.
He should have been discouraged.
This is a British comic, Brickman. I thought this would be crappy, but it's actually really good. It's really funny.
Not the same guy though, right?
No. This is actually good.
Yeah, it looked a lot better.
Mm-hmm. This is
that is better.
the stuff you'd see in Beano and
Good night. What was I watching there?
This is funny, and it's there's only one issue. It's a one shot.
Oh dear.
I recommend this though. It's
Yeah.
a good comic.
Yeah, but the chances of ever finding that in the wild are very slim.
Well, I found it in the wild. But my comic store downtown, see, he's got this amazing collection of all this stuff. I was going to say crap. It's all the great stuff. It's not crap. It's great stuff that nobody wants, but I like. It's amazing, you know. And it's all 3 for $1 when they have their sales once a year, and that's when I go. Because the rest of the time it's more money, so I don't buy them then.
Dark.
Yeah, Elf did a lot of those parody things too. You guys seen this one, Renegade Rabbit?
I don't know.
The good, the bad, and the furry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, the title, the stylized lettering did not go with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that goes with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, more power to him.
This one is called Kendra, Legacy of the Blood. It's very strange, but it's kind of fun. It's serious. It's not, you know. There's only 2 issues. There's supposed to be more, but they only made it to 2 issues.
Yeah.
But I thought it was okay. Here's a classic. This is a cult classic. Like, this is a legend, this comic, so you guys may have heard of it. It's Reed Fleming, the world's toughest milkman.
Yeah, a good friend of mine was a huge fan. He had a giant poster on his wall of Reed Fleming. No,
It's a pretty good. You haven't read it then, huh?
I don't think I did, but he told me, the same guy that told me I needed to read The Tick was really into Reed Fleming.
Yeah, it's the guy who did this. I think this is like the only major thing he did, but I guess he made his career off of this. And he gets involved with his employers. You know, he pulls pranks on them, and he's always getting into bad situations, but trying to find his way out of them. And
But you never got into underground comics, like
not the older ones, because they're too
Brothers?
much money. I can't afford those. You know.
Well, I don't think the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers is going to be that expensive.
I don't know. That doesn't look like my type of thing, though. You know.
It's the same as this, except maybe references to drugs. But
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, those are more hippie comics. I'm not into hippie stuff. You know.
yeah, but they're
Like, these are actually good comics, you know. I don't know. I've never read Furry Freaks, but it seems to me it's more of a hippie leftist kind of thing. I don't know.
there's no leftist agenda in them, really.
Well, that's good. Mech Things.
What about Weirdo? Did you?
No, I've never read it.
See-
I've never been to Crumb and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But this is, you know, when I see this much dialogue in a comic book, I absolutely love it. Most comic people I see on the internet, when they see this, they're like, oh, I'm not reading that. I don't like that. But I love it. I love reading.
An entire panel of
Yeah, I love that.
It's funny. It's almost like a parody of just. Yeah.
Again, I'm weird because I like reading a lot in comics, but a lot of comic readers, they say they don't like all of the text in this thing.
Well, modern comics have about 3 words on every page.
See, that's why I don't like. That's one reason I don't like modern comics, because I want to read. You know, I want to get into a story. I want lots of text and reading.
Yeah, that's a lot of text.
Yeah. So a lot of people turn off by that, but I really liked it. This one, Time Twisters, is a reprint of from a British thing.
Yeah.
Like a famous British thing called Eagle or something.
Okay. Eagle
You know
was
what I'm talking
a tabloid comic, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Judge
So
Dredd.
a lot of the stories in here are written by Alan Moore.
Okay.
And I thought I wouldn't like them because I was like, oh, Alan Moore, you know, he's a serious guy, superhero guy. I thought I'd say, oh, that's going to be awful, Alan Moore. I don't want that. I wouldn't have bought it if I knew he wrote them, but I'm glad I did, because it turns out he's a really good writer. He
is a good writer.
Yeah. And these stories are funny. Like, they have twists. They're like Twilight Zone stories. There's an anthology of short stories from Eagle, a British Eagle that he did, you know. And it's real. I recommend this. If you can find issues of Time Twisters.
It's funny how you approach the whole industry from the complete backwards way that the average consumer
Yeah.
does. I mean, you're
Yes, Tom. I don't know how normal I am, but I am good art driven, followed by good story. Even if the story gets bad, if the art is still good, I'll hang in there until they do something totally stupid, like give Storm a mohawk, and then I say, okay, I'm out of here.
See, I'm about the writing first. If I don't like the writing, even if I like the art a lot, I'll just throw it out because I want good writing, you know. And then the art can be crap, and I'll like it if I like the writing.
Well, I like writing too. Like the other day, I told Gratu, I know he used to teach in his class Edgar Rice Burroughs. I recently picked up a Tarzan book, and I thoroughly enjoyed Edgar's ability to even the spelling of words, boulders with a W, back in 1924. I get a kick out of that. But if it's a comic book, I want the art to be good.
In Canada, we spell words with a U because it's like we're British influenced.
Mhm.
Wacky Squirrel is a spin-off of Boris the Bear. It's not as good, but it's inspired by like the Tex Avery cartoons and things like that.
yeah.
You know,
Screwy
it's
squirrel.
not bad.
That's quite a tale he had.
Halloween special featuring Mr. Monster.
Now, see, I would read Mr. Monster because I like the artwork appealed to me.
I've always thought about reading it, but I've never bought an issue.
Well, there's certain ones that where the art grabs me, and then if it didn't, then I'm just like Graphic Man. The art had to grab me
All right.
first.
All right, is that Godzilla in the corner there?
Oh, yeah, that's Claudzilla. So
Oh,
this
dear.
is a parody
He's
comic.
got
Like,
gap teeth.
this is very much inspired by Mad Comics. It's called Insane. It's from Dark Horse.
All right, I would pick that up.
It's good. The artwork's good. I like good artwork too, and it's very Wally Wood inspired.
Right.
This is a parody of Grimjack, Dimjack,
Right.
Yeah,
and it's good. It's
not
a
too
good
bad.
comic.
yeah.
So if you like the Kurtzman style, then you should look for this. Claudzilla. I look for Flaming Carrot comics, but I can't find any.
That was another
I want
good
to try
one.
it.
Flaming Carrot was good.
I want to try it, but I can't find any in the 3 for $1 bins.
Well, you may not be able to, I don't see it anywhere either now that you mention it.
Mutants.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's just
very
like-
Mad inspired.
Because Kurtzman would have like one-word titles in the Mad comic,
Yeah, and the exclamation point
Right.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what this is. It's pretty much a revival of Mad comics if it was done in the late 80s. This
I
is a
don't like
parody
their
of,
logo. That's the main thing. I don't like the logo, the insane logo.
well, this is a parody of Concrete, which was
Right.
a critically acclaimed Dark Horse comic, Cement. And it's
Yeah.
pretty fun. And then they got a parody of Long Wolf and Junior,
Oh, boy. Dennis the Menace.
which is Long Wolf and Club, or Lone Wolf and Club.
Right.
Club, sorry. And then there's the Maltese Dingus, which is parody of the Maltese Falcon with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Right.
Oh
Instead.
my goodness. Yeah, Cash, please show me another page of that.
Okay, sure.
I want to see like Peter Lorre or
Okay. Let's see here. So, you got-
that's not bad. That's good.
yeah. And there's Mary Astor.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have to find this. Yeah.
There's only 2 issues of it, so it's not hard to collect them all. And it doesn't cost too much, so it's a good comic. I recommend it. Yeah, it's well done, quality parody. And then there was a TV show I've never seen called Sledgehammer,
Right.
which I thought, I've heard about the show, and I thought, Marvel did their own comic. It only lasted for 2 issues. But I thought, hey, I might enjoy this. It's humorous.
It
And
was
I
a parody of Dirty Harry. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it. The second issue has your friend on there.
There was a really great show called Police Squad that only lasted a few episodes that was
Yeah.
canceled.
It
And then
was
was later
6
turned into the
episodes.
Naked Gun movies. 6 episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then it
saw
became
that.
popular as the Naked Gun, but I wish people had caught on when it was a show.
The Leslie Nielsen humor, I don't know. I didn't like Airplane that much. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't? How could
No,
you not like that with your love of humor magazines?
Yeah, I don't know. It was too goofy, I think. I don't know. I like Airplane
Police
2
Squad.
better.
In Police Squad, at the end of all 6 episodes, they have to be real still because they're pretending that the camera has frozen.
Yeah.
And then some guy's holding a newspaper, and it will slowly start to bend.
Right.
And that was good stuff. Yeah, there's What the number 1. I remember that.
Now, What the is amazing. I never thought this comic would be very good because I read Not Brand Eck when I was younger, and I didn't like it because I thought it was too goofy and too corny.
Oh my goodness.
And I just didn't like it. The artwork was good, but the writing was just blah. You know.
I tell you what, Tom, if you loved Marvel 60s superheroes,
right,
then you would really appreciate.
Well, that's why I didn't appreciate.
And that's probably why you go, well, I don't see the humor.
See, I loved Not Brand Eck, but I had trouble accepting What the.
But
there are good things in it, and since then I've gone back and gotten some issues of it when I can find them.
What the. I put off buying it for many years, but I finally did it this year. I bought all the issues I could find, and I love it. It is one of the funniest comics I've ever read. What
the is worth having when they finally get to the Charles Atlas ad, or the kick the sand in my face ad.
Well, they did that several times, right?
I know, but when they finally got it perfected, we're at the bottom. It's got Reed Richards, it's got Iron Man, it's got Spider-Man. That might be the one. Let me see the bottom. It's got all of them. That is the best one to finally end them all. That was awesome.
No, I agree. I think these are the best Charles Atlas. And
my favorite is the one from Crazy with the bazooka.
Yeah,
it blows the guy's head off.
Yes, that was good too.
They do a different superhero in each one, just like Graphic Man said there.
Now, by the time they got to like issue 9 or 10, I kind of waned on them, but I liked the first few, definitely.
There's a lot of good stuff in the later ones too. The earlier issues are amazing, absolutely incredible. John Severin art, Marie Severin, hilarious parodies. It's really funny stuff. It's like I can't believe this thing isn't more popular. What the? But I think a lot of people compare it to Not Brand Eck, and they don't think it's as good. But I think it's a hell of a lot better than Not Brand Eck.
Well, I didn't see a lot of the Marie Severin, John Severin art. I did see occasional.
Yeah, I see like that one. That one there is a DC crossover with the
right.
And it's just so cluttered there. It's fun to look at, but at the same time, I kind of grew away from it at that point.
Well, Not Brand Eck. You say people compare it unfavorably against that, but I don't think hardly anyone collects Not Brand Eck.
Oh, I thought it was very well.
It's one of my favorite comics, but I don't think it's a highly sought after comic. Yeah, I mean,
this is amazing stuff. This is just amazing, and
I'll take your word for it. I didn't pick that one up.
They did an Archie parody in one of these, which is one of the best Archie parodies I've seen as well when they're older, and it is really funny. I love Archie parodies. So that one's good. And they make fun of how Wolverine was on every issue back then, and he's like, "Get out of here! Yeah. I'm on the cover of this. It's in my contract. Back off, you hosers," because he's Canadian.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'd open these up, but you guys, you can take my word for it.
Yeah.
And then they had this great superhero team that they created for this comic called Milk and Cookies. And that's Milk and Cookies. And I love this. I wish they had their own title. I wish they had gotten their own title, but they had about 5 stories in different issues of of this. It caught on with readers, and they did it a few times. But that's
Looks like Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think they were supposed to be, but then they took off on their own as a popular fan favorite. You know, I'll make you a Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should start a rumor that they're going to be added to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
People started. Yeah, I just bought that a couple weeks ago. That issue.
This whole issue is a parody of the Savage Wit of what is it? The Savage Sword of Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole issue. It's like a theme issue. They did another one of these on the back.
So all the Marvel heroes have their not brand Eck names, right? And then they have Forbish Man.
Yeah. You can make me full screen if you want.
Huh?
If you want, you don't have to.
Scream.
No, never mind. It's okay.
He can't hear you.
I just want to.
He wants to be big.
Oh, I thought you said you can make people scream. Make me big screen. I heard you can make people scream. I was like,
Okay, you see how this is cut here?
yeah,
The reason I did this myself, I massacred the comic book
yeah.
because when I bought it, I didn't realize this until I got it home. But there was all this brown stuff all over the back cover that looked like somebody wiped their butt with the comic.
Oh.
And I was worried that that's what it was, that somebody wiped their butt with this comic and then just put it back in the plastic.
Yeah, I remember when I was in 7th grade, I bought an issue of Inferior 5 from the 60s.
Yeah.
And then I noticed there was a brown stain on it. And I asked my mother, what do you think? I was like worried. What do you think this is? And she took it and she tore it up.
Well, that's what I
He
did.
didn't like me buying used comics. And it's like, oh, it's from the 60s, you know, but it's not a high dollar comic. And I've since replaced it. But yeah, she thought I brought home a comic, you know, with shit on it. And it probably was.
There's Invisible Woman wearing nothing but an eye patch. Ghost Rider.
Bigger screen, don't you?
Yeah, see, I think that the Goose Rider cover was better than the front cover because, yeah, I know it's a funny little joke, but it's not. So I thought by this point they've kind of exhausted their humor, but
Oh, it's still good. It's still good. It may not be as, you know, absolute as the early issues. Absolute killer, but it's still got good stuff like
little things bother me. Like I didn't like the logo for Insane and the logo for that's different there. That actually looks better, but the normal logo for it, that's cool. I don't like.
yes, they should have led with that.
Yeah, there's a whole EC parody in this issue that's amazing. So you guys, you gave up on this too early. You should have bought these later issues too, you know?
Well, once again, it was competition for my dollar and I had to get everything else.
This is great. This is a great cover.
Yeah, what is that, round 13 of their fight? I mean,
14 actually.
Yeah.
What years was this coming out?
The first one was like, let's see, 88, and then it lasted till about 92, 93,
Yeah.
I think.
Those were the years when I was distracted with a lot of other things.
They do TV parodies in this issue.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Here's another great cover. This is an amazing cover, but
Yeah. Who is that by?
the guy Hilary Barta. He did a lot of art for and he also did that insane art on Dimjack that you saw.
Yeah. Hey, have you heard from Mort Todd lately?
No, but he's active on Facebook though.
Yeah, I saw his couple of postings lately.
This was a whole like issue length thing, crossover, Infinity Wars crossover, Milk and Cookies and and everything. It's great. I love it. Oh, this cover. Look at this one. It's like a Wally Wood type cover.
Yeah.
I did pick that one up. Yeah.
Oh, you see, you're a man of taste.
Well, thanks.
You knew a good thing when you saw it, and you bought it.
I don't think I saw that.
And sadly, I had that one too.
They made fun of the.
Yeah.
They're still doing this, and I'm missing a few issues. I wish I had all of them, but
Huh. That's probably valuable now for all the movie people.
Yeah.
you think so? That's be good.
Well, yeah, people into all that because it was in the movies, Thanos and all that.
Right. That
Wow,
Loki
Cyclops.
thing looks so annoying. Here's the Mundane Adventures of Dishman. Have you guys heard of this?
Nope.
So what this is, it's a pretty interesting comic. What it is this guy finds out that he has a superpower. But the only power he has is he can wash the dishes just by waving his hands over them.
Okay.
So he fashions himself as a superhero, but he doesn't have any other powers, but he wants to do good in society. And so he tries to take on bad guys, just, even though he just can wash dishes, fast.
Yeah. Have you
His
seen the
girlfriend,
movie?
oh, sorry, I was going to say his girlfriend thinks he's insane, and she breaks up with him at one point. Like it really gets him. He's a teacher, by the way, so you should buy this, Gratu, because he's a teacher. It's a good comic, I'm telling you. It's from Eclipse. Eclipse is a good publisher. So what are you going to say, Mr. Orloff?
Oh, I was just asking if you've ever seen a movie called Super.
No, but it's my grandfather's 92nd birthday today. I meant to mention that earlier.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Yeah. I tried to get the Ed Sullivan channel to post the James Melton clip, but
Oh, they didn't do it?
Nah.
Jerks.
Yeah, they are kind of jerks, but you
Hey,
guys
Black
know
Cat.
this
Yeah.
Black Cat.
I have that issue. That I bought every issue of.
I've only been able to find this one, but it's not my type of thing because it's Golden Age.
That's
But,
my type
I
of
thought,
thing. I
hey,
bought every issue.
I like Harvey Comics, and it's 3 for $1, so why not buy it, right?
Yeah, it's great stuff.
It's good if you like superheroes and Golden Age stuff.
Well, the artwork is also.
Yeah, the Sleeves Brothers is from Marvel Epic Comics.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's pretty funny. Look at that guy. He's having a fling with this creature here.
So Epic was their imprint, basically publish adult stuff, as I recall.
Yeah, but this is a humor comic. They're kind of like the Blues Brothers, but they're in a futuristic society to get involved with aliens and stuff. And I like it. It got bad reviews from people, but I like it a lot. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. I like it when people say I'm wonderful. I like that. So, thank you. Let's see what else I can.
Don't look now, Gratu, but somebody has given us a thumbs down. So
Oh, wow.
Well, there's somebody who doesn't like me. Every time I'm in the stream, they're like, I don't want that.
well, it could have been some of the junk I was showing. So
No, it's not you.
Oh, no.
You always get
my
thumbs
political
up
rant at the
every time
beginning.
you
It might be a Luciferian.
yeah,
Anyway, the movie Super, this guy becomes a superhero. He doesn't know he's powers. He just has this hammer that he hits people on the head with. It's
funny.
a fantastic movie.
That sounds funny. Have you guys seen a movie called Defendor with Woody Harrelson?
no.
He's a mentally handicapped man who wants to be a superhero really badly because he reads comic books, and he goes out and he takes on bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's really heart-wrenching. Like, I cried at the end of it. It's a really good movie. You guys should see it. I'm serious. Like, it's a movie a lot of people don't know about. It's in a low-budget movie, but it's so good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Defendor. It's not Defender. It's Defend. He always, because for whatever reason, he spells it wrong.
Right.
And he gets upset when people call him Defender instead of Defendor. And of course, he gets arrested a few times. They try to put him away and everything, and for his own good as well. But he always gets out, and I don't know. It's something. He makes friends with this girl that's on drugs and everything. He tries to change her life around, and
Yeah.
it's funny, but it's really dramatic at times too. It's a really good movie. I think it's a Canadian movie actually,
Oh.
and it's really good. Kat Dennings is in it, and Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
This is Ralph Snart Adventures, which I've recommended to Mr. Orloff. Mr. Orloff, you're gonna love this cover. Look at this.
Oh yeah. Big Daddy Roth influenced.
So this is the Halloween issue where Ralph Snart gets involved with some Halloween shenanigans. So yeah, you should try to find these. You got this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good comic. It's sort of like, he got compared to underground cartoonists.
Right.
It's funny because he printed a letter saying, "Were you influenced by these underground cartoonists and everything?" Ralph Hansen, he's the guy that he writes and draws Ralph Snart. He created it. And it's weird because he actually got upset with the person, which you think most people would be happy to compare to underground cartoons, but he said that he didn't like underground comics because they're about drugs and stuff like that, and they're just crappy, a lot of the art and everything in the stories, which is how I feel about them, So
It depends on which ones.
Yeah, right.
There are some great artists.
But you should do this, Gratu. Well, I know you're doing it. You're looking for them. I know.
Looking for what? Oh,
These
Ralph
Snarts, right? Right?
Well, if I see any, I mean, those aren't
Yeah.
very common comics.
Mr. Lizard was a spin-off of Ralph Snart. I like it a lot. I think it's really funny. He goes on a date with this girl, and it's hilarious. He gives tips on dating in the comic,
Do you like an artist, Jay Lynch? You ever heard of Jay Lynch?
Yeah. He works for humor magazines.
He was an underground artist.
He's good. I like Jay Lynch.
And yeah, there's a lot of great. What about Spain Rodriguez?
No, I haven't heard of him. I don't think.
Oh, he's really cool too.
Have you ever read Lethargic Comics?
I've heard of that.
This is a mini comic. It's one of before it was a full-size comic, he published like 50 issues of the mini comic. This is the 50th issue. I like the later issues better. I think they're funnier. It's a lot of parody. I was put off by the art at first, but it's actually a really funny comic. Yeah, that's nice artwork.
Yeah, Jay Lynch is like Bijou Funnies. It was really
I've
good.
heard of that. Yeah, they look good.
And then
But I don't know if I'd like the stories. That's the problem. Like if it's all just like, sex and drugs and everything. I don't know.
well, it's all kinds of weird stuff. Now I saw Mort Todd with Joe Coleman in a picture on Facebook. That artist is real extreme.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, let's see if this is even appropriate. What I pull up? That's not the Joe Coleman I want.
He's an American painter.
Oh no, Joe Coleman. Come on. He's this guy. He's nuts.
Oh, he looks like Vic Martin, actually,
but his
Don
artwork,
Ulrich.
his artwork is really extreme.
He looks like a great introducer of old movies, or a Svengoolie type. He's got a great look to him.
He did this poster for the movie Henry.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And
serial killer movie.
Yeah, there's
I
a lot.
don't like that.
So anyway, that's he's kind of like, seems like it would be a scary person to meet.
Probably. But this is a novel idea because the covers weren't that great, I guess, and he got tired doing parody covers. He just started the comic on the cover.
Okay.
which works. This is actually really funny. I gotta say, I don't recommend the earlier issues, but these ones are really funny actually. Like he did so many of these things that he eventually got good at it.
I remember liking a comic, but then I stopped buying it called Megaton Man.
Yeah, I never bought that. The artwork, I don't like it really, so I never bought
I bought it for the artwork.
because I didn't like the artwork. It looked too goofy to me. But
Well, Tom Gratu, I am going to have to bow out. It's been very fun. I hope you guys can keep going, and I'll finish watching you tomorrow. But
we'll go for a bit. But I was great to have you here.
I can't go too much longer either.
Yeah, and I was supposed to be in bed, but I couldn't sleep, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get a divorce. I'll see you, Graphic Man.
I love talking to you again. I
appreciate it.
I love your comments that you make when I show stuff. You always say really interesting and witty things.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So I hope we can.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we can do this again, and I can show you some more stuff, you and Gratu together.
I'm glad I got to show you that ROM guest appearance in Crazy Magazine.
Yeah. Well, that was just a robot, but
yeah.
You want to do a Tom? Do you want to do a Crazy Magazine retrospective?
Yeah, we should do that because I want to show you guys the later issues because you guys apparently don't know about the later issues being really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you, Graphic Man.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
Take care, man. Let's see. I gotta make sure I put these back in the right order.
Yeah, let's try to go till like 9 o'clock. I don't know. Your Eastern time still.
So 20 minutes.
Yeah, 21 minutes. I really shouldn't stay up. Well, because I was streaming all day and up here, and I got to spend some time with the wife.
One of these days, I want to be there when you do it, but I want you, really want you to show that Best of Willie and Floyd episode on your stream.
Oh, okay. I guess I could.
That would be awesome. That meant so much to me. I can't even tell you, like, Willie and Floyd, it's meant so much to me when I was growing up. And that episode, like I said, was the last episode of the Talent Agency in 1979. And it was amazing to me. I watched it over and over and over again because it was all clips from old shows because they were going to end the series,
Yeah.
And they said, this is our last hurrah. And I thought it was lost forever because all the episodes are lost. Almost all of them are lost, right? There's only a few that exist now. And the 35 I've got on VHS, which like I said, I've got all these full episodes nobody has in the world. I'm the only person that has them, right? But anyway, that last episode, I taped it when I was a kid. And by accident, I taped over half the episode. So I think by the time I was done, there's only about 10 minutes left I had of the episode, and I thought, oh, I'm never going to see it again. And amazingly enough, that episode was preserved. And Bill Luxton's son uploaded it on YouTube. So that's what that is, the episode. And I love it because, you'll get a view of what it was like, what the show was like. You'll get clips from all different episodes, like the Best of Willie and Floyd. And the show did come back later on, but it wasn't the same. It was more like a sitcom for kids. And in the early days, it was more like a vaudeville show. Like they ran a talent agency in a theater, and they'd audition acts, and they'd lip sync to old songs. They do tributes to all sorts of things, And I think you'd love it, And it'd be great to watch it with you on your stream and the viewers someday.
I should put on maybe someday we could do a whole bunch of kids shows from different parts of the country. Icky Twerp from Fort Worth and JP Coaches from Seattle and maybe other people could mention their local favorites. We could do a stream. I think I don't know when the month I paid for a month of nonstop, non-ending live stream.
Right.
I don't know when that ends. I think maybe I've got a couple more weeks.
I got a few odds and ends I can show you for a little bit that I have in this separate pile that I think you'll be interested in. Now, I got some humor magazines from the 2000s, but maybe we should save that for a humor magazine video. So I'll show you this. This is a hero magazine, but it's not like it's different now. I think you should get this.
Is that the parody of monster magazines? Yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, crazy, hip, groovy, go way out monsters. It's just like the title of one of your shows.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I have wanted to get that, but I've never actually seen it in a store.
It is really funny. Like it's a parody of, you know, the old magazines, right? So they have these stills and they have these funny captions, you know,
Yeah.
and articles about the making of the movies, things like that, you know. But they're all jokes, of course, and it's a
Yeah.
parody of the way things. It's a parody of the way Forrest Ackerman used to write, you know.
Do they have ads in the back?
I think we'll see. And they have like Valdo Gonk, Master of Terror, right?
Yeah.
So he's a fake, you know, it's an article on a fake horror actor.
Right.
Like Boris Karloff or John Carradine or somebody. I love John Carradine, by the way. I've seen almost all his, well, not almost, he's made so many movies, but I've seen a lot of them. But this one guy did this whole thing, and it's amazing. Now the ads are real.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're for other publications from Tomorrow's.
Oh,
So they're not fake ads. And here's the other issue of it. There's 2 issues. You see?
right.
So it's by Pete Von Schawley. He's the guy that did the whole thing.
Well, I can't even find that magazine that's out, the Vampirella magazine that's made to look like Vampirella called Vampirus Carmilla. I don't see that in any stores around here.
There are fake ads in it, though. See?
That's what I figured they would have fake ads. There it is. Yeah.
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 So they did.
Parody of the Big Frankie ad. That's good because they needed to do that. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I would. That's something I definitely would want to get.
They have a. It makes me laugh because there's so much funny stuff in here.
But I don't know where I would find it.
They used to sell those old films, remember, on projectors and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've got a big stack of them right here.
So there's a parody of those. See,
Yeah, it looks just like the real ad.
you need to get these magazines. You
Yeah.
trust me on that.
Oh, I know. Most of the stores around here don't even carry the real ones, much less a parody of them.
This is one of the funniest magazines I've ever read in my life. It's by the same guy, Pete Von Schawley, that just did those monster ones that I just showed you.
Yeah, that's cool looking.
So what it is it's a parody of every trade magazine that was out at the time.
Yeah.
So each section is a different magazine. Like here's Whizzer, you know.
Right.
So they make fun of the way they were, and they make fun of the ads. You know, the 10 hot comics.
Right.
You know, it looks just like a real Wizard magazine.
Yeah. This is more like National Lampoon
Mm-hmm.
when you get parodies that exact.
The pages are really slick too. It's
Yeah.
gorgeously produced. Gonad, you know, the squeezing of a franchise. And then they did the next section is comic book market.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is great stuff. They made fun of. They said dinosaurs were a fad at the time, so Star Spangled Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
See,
They just took the war out and just made it dinosaurs.
icky love stories with dinosaurs. Two gun.
Do you know what they're parodying there?
Pardon?
Do you know what the original source of what they're doing there is?
Well, they're just doing the types of articles you'd see in this
Well,
magazine.
I know, but there was a comic called Star Spangled War.
Oh
in
yeah.
the 60s that was a war comic, and they started putting dinosaurs in it where the GIs are fighting dinosaurs.
Oh really?
Yeah. So what they're doing there is they're just removing the war element and just making it, instead of Star Spangled War, Star Spangled Dinosaurs.
I didn't know that. See, that's funny.
Yeah. In
That's
fact, let me
creepy.
pull up some of that.
Here's comics buyer's gauze.
Yeah.
This thing is amazing. Look at this. See that one?
Yeah, neat.
You definitely need to get this and read it.
Yeah, that's another thing I'd like to get, definitely.
So in this part, they have an article. Whatever became of this? It's supposed to be like an EC horror artist.
Yeah, let me show you this real quick.
I'll
This
wait
is
till-
what this is what they're doing. Star Spangled War Stories. There's an island where dinosaurs were still around. The soldiers had to fight these dinosaurs in addition to the Japanese. So, that's what they're. It was just because kids love war and they love dinosaurs. So that's what he's making fun of. Saying he even makes the covers look just like it.
That's great.
So anyway, that's the source.
That's funny. That's really funny.
So when you know what they're making fun of, you get the joke, then it's a little funnier.
I mean, I love it as it is, but you're right; it's even funnier. So what this is like they track down this EC horror artist, right?
Yeah.
Gramps Grizzly Tingles, and
Ingalls, yeah.
Yeah, Ingalls, right?
Graham Ingalls, yeah. It was called. He signed his name Ghastly.
So they're making fun. So he's a reclusive, right?
He didn't want to ever talk about his comic book work. No, yeah, he was doing serious art and art lessons later on in life, and was embarrassed by the comic book work. Yeah.
Right. So they track him down, and then they do this interview with him, but he turns out to be this completely normal guy. But the interviewer keeps asking all these questions as if they're trying to make him out to be this, mythical, ghastly figure.
Yeah.
And it's so funny,
Well, that actually is pretty true. He was, just the fact that he signed his name Ghastly, people thought he was some horrible monster guy. Yeah.
See, this is all like parodies of the things you see in it, right? The comic.
Sure, yeah.
The Overstreet guy. And then, of course, they do the Jake Kirby Obsessor.
Oh, boy.
So it's a whole section where they make fun of people for thinking Jack Kirby's the greatest thing ever, Because there's a Jack Kirby collector,
I thought the cat was vomiting.
And then they have like a bagged issue instead of back issue.
All right. Huh.
With the sump thing.
Was this a one shot?
Yeah. I wish there was another one. I found this downtown one day when I was out with a girl, actually, if you can believe it. And it happened a few times, I wish more, but anyway. And we went to a comic shop together, and I saw this, and I said, "This looks interesting. I'm going to buy it," and I'm so glad I did. It's the only time I've ever seen a copy of it. Ultra Ego, which is the alter ego, right?
Yeah.
So each section, they try to make themselves look like they copy all the features and everything, and it works on so many different levels. And then there was a magazine called Draw about artists, so they do scrawl.
Yeah.
And they make fun of the types of articles you see in that, like how to draw articles.
Yeah, it looks just like the original book.
Yeah. And then they had one about writing, so Type Now. Beautiful. And all the writers are all like egotistical when they interview them, Comic book artiste. This is nice. Oh, this Charlton 66, if you're watching, look at this.
Charlatan
Comics. The comics for the rest of us. They have a whole article making fun of Charlton Comics in this issue. Their whole history, and how they're like the cheapest comics there are, and they imitate other successful comics, you see?
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. If you're a fan of Charlton and you know the history, it's really funny. This is the
that looks like something Mort Todd had on Facebook today. He did a A combination of Reptilicus and Conga into one monster.
There's Eow.
Yeah, E-Man. Yeah.
It's funny. And then they do the Independence comics, the Comics Urinal.
That's hilarious.
And basically, this guy, they look at the comics of P. Don Cheats, and they make him out to be this unbelievable artist, but his comics are garbage. But because he's independent, Comics Journal says he's brilliant and all this stuff, you know?
Right.
It's really funny. I mean, I love independent comics, but I like parody, obviously, so I could take a joke and yeah, this is his comic that they're saying is amazing, right? and he's, of course, he's either like egotistical or he's a kid or something. I can't remember what it is. And then they do the purviews, it's like the previews, you know.
Yeah.
The Implacable Glut. So this thing I wanted to show you because it's really funny.
Yeah, that is cool.
So yeah, I don't know if the second issue is ever actually going to be published, but
How old is that?
I wish it was though. 2006, I think.
Huh.
Yeah, 2006. And the monster ones were 2004.
Yeah, that's a while back.
Some people were, well, these are my newer things, you know. Some people were like, they thought that this was actually published in 1964 because they put like
please.
a fake indicia here.
That's
But-
ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they're not very, some people aren't very intelligent, you know. They didn't read the fine print, and obviously you can tell it's not actually.
In addition to the price is probably not 35 cents on it.
Yeah, it's $6. So
Yeah, nothing costs $6 packs.
I guess I should wait to show you. Like, we're gonna wrap up soon. I got a bunch of
Yeah.
Zero magazines here, but I think I should wait to show you them. In
Well,
a
just
magazine.
show a couple of covers real quick, just so we have an idea of what's coming up.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Okay, here's a preview, everybody, of some Hero magazines you'll see in the future someday. We haven't done the 70s ones yet. We haven't done Crazy and the rest of Cracked and everything. So we got a lot of other stuff, but these are the newer ones. Thwack.
Okay, I don't know Thwack. That art
It's-
is not good.
It's more like a labor of love from people that love humor magazines.
Okay.
So it's partly a fanzine where they actually have real articles about humor magazines in it, as well as their own humor magazine. Like half of it's a satire magazine and half of it is, you know, a fanzine. It's really good, actually. Here's a collection that was published.
Okay.
It's actually, you see, it's a paperback.
Oh, wow. Gee,
Yeah.
they had some money.
Kit Lively sent this to me. He worked for the magazine, and he's a really nice guy. He worked for Mad Magazine too,
Uh-huh.
and he sent this to me. And yeah, it's just like it's the best of Thwack, and it's also articles from Crack magazine that were never printed because Crack went out of business. Because
Oh, okay.
the same guys worked for Crack.
So it's kind of a continuation of Cracked.
So I'll show you more of the insides of that another time.
Well,
This is just-
yeah, that looks good. That'll be
Yeah, it's better than it. Look, that was just the first issue I showed you there because that was,
yeah. It was just the proportions on that girl were it just looked a little off.
Gag magazine was another attempt at a new humor magazine. It's like 2004,
Right.
and then they relaunched it again in 2007. It's a Barry Dudder humor magazine. I'll tell you more about that when we get to it. These are just previews. Jokester magazine.
I've never heard of any of these.
Kit Lively sent me this too free. Damn it, I swallowed another one. It's cartoons that he did.
Okay.
He's like a Sam Gross kind of cartoonist. He's
Right.
inspired by Sam Gross. He sent me this too.
Okay.
And this is a new humor magazine. It's being published today. I got this free from the guy who does this magazine too. Freaky magazine.
Oh, I saw that on Facebook or something.
Yeah, he promotes it because he's selling it now. Here's one that no one knows about that was published a few years back called Whim Quarterly, and I think it's a kind of like a lampoon type magazine, and I think it's really funny. But I don't think
a very artsy. Looks like an artsy poetry collection or something.
It is, yeah, but it's a humor magazine though.
So I never would have even pegged it as humor.
It's from the 2010s. I don't think there's hardly anybody that owns any copies of it. I don't think they did very well, but I love it. See, I've got every issue. See?
Okay, I've just never seen it. Is it a Canadian magazine?
No, it's American, but it's brilliant. Yeah. It's funny stuff, man. And I told the guys doing the magazine, because I bought them directly from the people doing it, the publisher. Very well published too. Very nice pages and slick in there. But I told them that, instead of putting stuff like this on the cover, like if you want to sell it, you should put sexy girls on the cover, like National Lampoon. That's what I told them. And he said, that it probably would be a good idea to do Lampoon type covers. But then they never published another issue.
Well,
here's another preview. Disgusting Comics.
Oh, okay.
This is a really weird one. There's 2 issues of this strange publication.
Wow.
It's edited by the son of Myron Fass, Irving Fass.
Interesting.
And I think he killed himself after he did that magazine.
It's not funny, but
I think he did, though, didn't he? I think he did. I don't know.
But I shouldn't laugh at that.
We'll talk about it more, like when we do the magazine. But I know it's not funny. It's not.
Yeah, I know. It's just.
This is Mort Todd's Monster magazine.
Yeah, I think I might have a copy of that, but I need to get all of them for sure.
These are very collectible now. People are buying these things up because the artwork is by John Severin, Gray Moore, all these, legends of the comics industry.
I hope I have a couple of them.
We'll look at these in more detail when we.
Yeah.
They're not humor magazines, but they're related, right? Because they're Mort Todd.
Yeah, they're close enough.
I've got all the issues there. This is a comic I really like. I put it in here because it's oversized. It's called Max of the Regulators. It's really weird. Well, I'll talk about this sometime. This comic is infamous. There are people out there that are fascinated by this comic. There's YouTube videos about it. There's a whole reading of this comic on YouTube. We'll talk about that in more detail when we get to it.
Sounds good.
Extremely Silly Comics. This is worth a lot of money now because it features a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a brief appearance. It's a very early appearance by them. Very low budget, and as you can tell, it's newsprint.
Yeah.
But apparently it's worth a lot of money, so I like that. The Wrong Comic. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
And then we have stuff. This is an anthology, humor anthology, and it took me a long time to realize that says sarcasm.
Yeah.
Like sarcasm. I didn't get the pun for a long time, for some reason.
Yeah.
And somebody said once on the internet that they're hoping that this is not a self-portrait of the artists and writers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. Yeah, so we'll talk about these more in the future.
Sounds good.
Honko the Clown is pretty good. These are magazine-sized comics.
Yeah.
They're good, though. Quality, low-budget, stuff. Geriatric Man. He's an older superhero. It's actually really good. It's respectful to older people. I like it. It's Legions of Ludicrous Heroes.
Yeah.
And then there's something here which we'll go into more detail about. There's 2 more things, I think. I don't know. Something. Humor on the Cutting Edge. It's a humor magazine that hardly anybody knows about.
Okay.
I really like it. I don't like making fun of cancer, but I really like the the comic though. It's like all different stories and things. Now this here is something you'll want to seek out. It's called Creepsville.
I'm aware of that. I've
Oh,
seen
good.
it.
Yeah, it's partly a fanzine and it's partly comics. So you knew that?
I don't know if I knew what it was. I know that title. I've seen it around.
Yeah, it's got a lot of articles about things that you might be interested in, like B movies, and
Yeah,
I like B movies.
I think I'd want to get those Mort Todd magazines before anything, and
Yeah, you'll want to get those.
and those fake those fake '60s monster magazines, and also that fake comic magazine that I have. I
You
bought
gotta
that
be
when it
kidding me.
came out. I have that one. I bought a couple issues of Laughter when it came out, like 1974, 75.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Are they valuable or something?
No, but okay, hold on. I gotta sit down. This is the last thing I'm going to show you today. This is
Okay.
Laughter. Okay, I want to talk to you about this, kid.
Okay.
Laughter magazine is. I thought I was the only person in the world that bought issues of this. That
Well, I bought them before you were born. Yeah, you're about 4 years before you were born.
because whenever they'd show up on eBay,
Yeah.
nobody would bid on them. I'd always be the only person that bid on them, right? So I
Yeah.
said, this is humor magazine nobody cares about, right? Because it's half puzzles.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I did all the puzzles because I like doing them, But I want to have every issue of this. But I've
How
never,
many issues came out?
it's hard to do. So,
I had that one. I remember buying that. I had that issue.
well, the later issues, they got rid of the puzzles and it was all just humor.
Okay. I
But
know I
humor
have at least a
collectors
couple.
don't know about this.
I might
So-
have 2 copies.
This is the second issue,
Okay.
right? If you have the others, I want them. Can I have them?
I don't. I have that, and maybe I don't know what other one. It's
Okay,
either
I'll tell you
one
what
or
I'm
three.
missing. I'll show you
Because
what I got.
They're. I bought them in close succession right before we left San Antonio.
The first issue I don't have. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the second issue,
Okay.
right?
Seems like I have one with a red cover.
Here's the third issue.
I have one with Liza Minnelli on it, like the way that artist is drawn. Barbara Streisand. I've got one with what? That's the other one I've got. Yeah. So you have the ones I have. I think I only have 2.
I've got 2 copies of this one.
Okay. Well, then you have more than I do.
And I got 2 copies of this one too. The next issue.
That one is that Richard. I thought that was Richard Ramirez, but it's Donnie.
Uri.
No, it's Uri Geller.
Uri Geller. Guy that bends.
Ramirez on the left.
What's that?
It's just Richard. Just the thought that they would put Richard Ramirez on the cover of Laughter is just. Is that Jackie O?
Yeah. See, they had a thing in the magazine where you would rate celebrities. They'd have readers write in and see if they agreed with their ratings. The staff of Laughter would give ratings to the celebrities.
Yeah.
And they'd give reasons why they had the ratings. And I thought that was really neat, really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm missing, that was November 75. I'm missing December 75. This is January.
Well, you got a much better collection than I do. I
I thought I was the only person in the world that wanted this magazine. I really did.
Well, I don't know that I want it that much, but I have 2 copies.
I love it. I'm
I
missing.
remember thinking it was cool, but it's not as cool as Mad or something.
Well, it's not like that, right? It's a different type of humor magazine.
Yeah.
So they got rid of the puzzles at this point, right? So it's all just articles and humor and stuff. And I think it's just so much fun because they have like excerpts from books. Like Son of Groucho was a new book out of the time,
Okay.
so you can read about that. And,
Yeah, it's an odd magazine.
yeah, and I like odd things, and And here's the May issue. This is the last one I've got. And they changed it to the magazine of adult humor. It used to be a family, and they changed it to adult humor.
Is it really adult humor?
No, it's not dirty or anything like that. I guess they just wanted to.
What they mean by adult is like for people in nursing homes. It's like that's what it struck me as, right next to the Reader's Digest. You know.
Well, I like it. I'm
not saying I dislike it, but it's not a very.
So you think this was the audience thing?
Yeah, I mean it's not aiming at the National Lampoon crowd.
No. They also called themselves the magazine of adult humor, and they were. But anyway, there's a few more issues after this. I'm not sure how many. I think there's only a couple more, but I haven't been able to get them.
I don't know how you'd find out. I doubt mycomicshop.com would list that.
Unless they have it now. They never had it before. I've never seen it listed in any.
I've never even heard anyone ever mention it.
Well, there you go. See?
I just picked up 2 copies when I was in
you can
fourth
see why I
grade.
got so excited.
Heard of it or seen it since.
But you can see why I got so excited when you knew about it, because.
Well, yeah,
So I'm just putting everything back now.
Yeah, well, that'll be a cool stream when we get into all those books.
Yeah, those are some of the later ones, but we got other ones. We got all 70s and 80s and 90s ones to do too.
Okay, yeah, I'm game.
And then we got all those comics. I got lots of comics, as you can see.
As long as I still have, it's in the next couple of weeks. Actually, I may have to buy another month of this live streaming.
Now, Mr. Gratu, you know that when they started Creepsville, when it was a comic book, right?
Go ahead.
It was just all comics, and the weird thing is, I'll show you them another time, but the style looked just like Archie comics, which I thought was so strange. I couldn't figure that out, why he was just using the Archie style to do Creepsville. The stories are good, but there's just no explanation for why everybody looks like they're from Archie comics.
Unless they're doing horrible things, in which case that style of art is funny.
It's not that they're doing horrible things, but it has monsters and things in it,
I don't know. It depends on how horrible the monsters are and what they're doing.
It's not a parody of Archie. It's just he's using their style basically to do his comic, which is so strange to me that nobody's pointed that out. But then it turned into a fanzine and a comic thing, like I said before. But it's neat. It's neat.
I'm looking forward to that.
Don't forget to look for Boris the Bear too, because that is.
I'll look for it, but I haven't seen it. But when I do, I'll.
It sounds like your comic store isn't anywhere near as good as the one I go to downtown.
No, it doesn't really have much.
No offense to you. You're amazing, obviously, but
No, they don't really have much prior to the late 70s, which is about the time the store opened.
Yeah, but my stuff is mostly from after that, like the comics, but they don't have a lot of that stuff either, though.
Well,
do they?
From what I've seen in the back issue bins, no, but they have some. But the store opened probably in about 1980, and they have lots of stuff from then on, but I'm interested in the stuff from before then. And whenever they got in stuff like that over the years, I would immediately buy it or someone else would. So there is nothing, and they very rarely got more than a few books like that. And I would stop in every so often, and I would just magically pick those out of the back issue bins. And so, no, it's not a store that has a vast inventory of Silver Age or Bronze Age like Duncanville books.
But you see what I'm interested is in the independent books from the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Well, they had some of that, but I think a lot of it they've probably gotten rid of in quarter bins over the years.
Yeah, I'd like that.
So it's just like runs of New Mutants, X Factor, more X-Men, more.
Oh,
You know, it just, and then, but then some of that stuff's going up in value, and some of it has certain issues that are valuable, and. But I'm sick of looking at a lot of those covers, but it's all right, you know.
yeah, I don't. Well, you know, I don't like that stuff. But maybe I could show you something else briefly before we go. You think?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 books, but I really got to go.
Yeah, me too. Okay, this is it. This is it for real this time. So, I'm sorry. I don't. I felt so bad when I did this last time to you. I'm not going to keep you any longer than this. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little book.
Yeah, it's a little Ace paperback. It's from 1950.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
And it's all like, you know, cartoons and jokes and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's up my alley for sure.
So you just got
I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
jokes and cartoons, and of course, it's so innocent now. You know.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's a nice little book.
Yeah, that's neat.
And here, Chicks and Chuckles.
Yeah, I've got a few issues of that.
Really?
Yeah, those little digests were real big back then.
They're pretty neat, eh? And of course, you get like the jokes. And the pinup girls and everything, you know.
Right.
Yeah, these are neat. My bookstore downtown had a whole rack full of these things, and so they're quite a bit. But I think they wanted $5 for this, but I told them it was my birthday, so they gave it to me half off.
Okay.
It was my birthday. I wasn't lying.
Well, that's cool. So, yeah, some of those will have Betty Page. Yeah, some will have Betty Page and different artists from. Yeah, I've got a ton of paperbacks.
I used to have every single Mad paperback ever, and I had them all in a bookshelf, but I sold them, and this is all I have left.
Did you get a lot of money for them?
No, I was an idiot. I sold my entire Mad collection. I had all these issues going back to the 50s, and I sold them all for like just a few $100s. I just wanted to it was back at the time in my life when I wanted to get rid of every comic and magazine. I thought there was kid stuff, and I tried to get rid of everything I had. So I had to start all over again. And I kicked myself. And some of the stuff I gave away. I just literally took it to a bookstore, and I gave like every Sad Sack comic I had and everything. I didn't even get any money. I was a total idiot, you know. So I was a Jack Davis, obviously.
Yeah.
National Lampoon. Have you ever seen their paperbacks?
Yeah, I have that book, and I have one with Nixon on the cover.
This one's dirty.
Yeah.
There's their best-selling paperback, though. Bananas paperbacks.
I didn't know they did that.
This is hilarious. It's a guide to dating. It's really funny. By Bananas Magazine, you know. And they have photos as well as, the guide and
That was probably sold through Scholastic Books.
some Fumettis. Yeah. This is really, I recommend this. It's written by R.L. Stein, Jovial Bob Stein.
Oh, okay.
Goosebumps guy. And he did the magazine, right? He was the editor of the magazine.
Okay.
Bananas Joke Book. Bananas Guide to School Survival.
Yeah.
Bob Taylor art, and it's funny stuff. It's time to break up when, and you're really in love when. These are the Bananas books, So you didn't know about these, eh?
No.
Bananas Book of Photo Funnies.
Okay. Those are probably sold through those little flyers that the teachers handed out.
The Bananas Dating Test.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool. Well, that'll be a cool stream coming up sometime in the future.
Yep.
So I guess the next day I'll have off is Thursday and Friday. So
What day is it? Monday?
today's Monday night. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about politics with you again sometime too, because I can't believe the stupid things that are going on.
That's how I started the tonight's stream.
Oh, I didn't see it. Darn.
No, yeah, you can go back and watch it. I just basically,
What were you talking about?
Yeah, I was just talking about just how depressing everything is.
You know, I saw another person. I'm always seeing these people complaining about the insurrection thing that happened.
Yeah.
And they don't know. Like your wife has footage of it, right? That's
well, well, no, I was watching it on YouTube happen, and it's yeah, it's probably something we shouldn't talk about, but yeah, it at the time.
I wish we could.
Only later that they said that these horrible things. Well, we didn't know about the woman that was killed, but everything else, I don't know. I think it was there. Well, there is footage of people changing clothes so they can look like they're Trump people. And
so it was a play then, right? It was a whole farce put on by the left.
Well, they were. It looked like they were just let in, like here, come on in. And then there were people that dressed up like you put on red hats, and then they were the ones that were breaking the windows and doing all the. But most of them are just like going through like they're looking at a museum. But I don't know. I think it's a way. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it too much because.
Did you see the book peddler's new video?
What?
Did you see the book peddler's new video he posted today?
No, I haven't. I haven't really done much today except work on this room and do laundry.
He bought a collection of Big Little books from the 30s, I think.
Okay, I need to look at that then.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at any of his videos yet. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I missed talking to you, so I'm glad we got to talk again today.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
and it was fun to talk to Graphic Man too. I was glad he was here.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did this just impromptu, and so
yeah.
Tomorrow I'll be at work, and the next day, and
yeah. Well, we'll meet up again someday.
All right.
But the politics stuff, I guess I'll just have to talk to you privately on Facebook or something.
Well, I mean, there's ways to get around it. It's just there's just not it's just not a free country anymore.
Because I like to vent about this stuff because it bugs me so much,
Well, yeah, because it's our, well, you guys have actually got it worse up in Canada, but it's not. Things are. It's scary and it's depressing and it's embarrassing more than anything. It's just embarrassing to have the country led by this moronic, evil, senile puppet.
And that video you showed of him whispering a few days ago, you remember?
Yeah.
I can't believe that the president of the United States is acting like this.
Well, what he's saying is that he's sending money to people with children. They'll get like $300 a month per kid, and that's a bribe to keep Democrats in office.
Wow.
So
very corrupt.
And those kids are going to be paying that money back with higher taxes when they're adults, if the country's still around.
Yeah.
It's not part of China. And but yeah, he's a corrupt, evil. He's not just if he was a senile old man, I'd feel sorry for him. But he's been evil and corrupt since day one. He's a philanderer. He's his current wife. He was cheating on his original wife that died in a car wreck with this woman. The vice president is a complete cackling moron that couldn't even be a weather lady on a UHF channel in the smallest town in Iowa.
They really railroaded everybody because my cousin always says this. He says, how is it that this woman ended up as vice president? She got the least number of votes in the primaries, the Democrats, and now he says she's going to be president someday, and nobody wanted her, but they really railroaded everybody. They just took the election, they rigged it,
it might be that this has to happen, that we have to suffer through this to wake up the people that actually did vote for him.
Mhm.
And if things get bad enough that people are desperate and weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth and realize, why did I ever do this? Then maybe things can correct themselves. But as long as there are people that actually still think he's doing a great job and he's just a sweet old man, and believe that all these things where they're trying to divide races and everything.
So many people believe in it, though. I see it all the time. Especially younger people.
But will they believe it when they can't put gas in their cars and they can't afford to eat? Yeah, and they can't. And when the power gets shut off again, when it's 115 degrees outside during the summer, or when the internet completely goes down and they have no way to communicate except for a satellite phone. Nobody has those except the prepper crowd.
One problem is, like, I watch a lot of people that play video games because I like old video games. I play them sometimes. I'm not addicted to them like most people are.
Right.
But the people I watch are usually addicted to them. That's their whole life, and I think it's sad. But whenever they talk about politics, they're always anti-Trump, like almost every single. And that's the thing, is that all these people do is play video games all the time. These younger people.
Well, that's what they've been fed, and they don't
know anything about politics, and they believe what CNN, like the little they see, they think it's all factual, and that scares me a lot because they're distracted by the video games, and they're never going to wise up. They're never going to get it,
When the games become too expensive to buy, when they cannot buy cheeseburgers, when they can't put gas in their tank to go buy new video games, or maybe they don't buy video games, they're just downloaded. I don't think people buy cartridges or discs anymore.
Well, they do a lot of digital. Yeah, they buy a lot of digital stuff from Steam.
But those aren't the majority of the population.
I hope not.
The majority, I don't know. Maybe it has to get bad enough for them to realize it. Maybe they need to get drafted into some stupid, I don't know. But I don't see how anyone could win a war when that's the potential. And they're trying to bring our army down and having them walk around in high heels to see what it's like, and doing all this training with them, and they're firing anyone from the army, getting rid of them. But if they've ever said anything conservative on their Facebook page, they're trying to. So I don't know.
It's the same with the arts. Like I like ballet and opera, things like that. And but I watch this stuff, and when I see these people in the arts, they're all leftists, like all of them. Every one of them is like for Black Lives Matter and anti-Trump and everything. And also, here's the crazy thing: in almost most of the ballet performances today, doesn't matter if they're amateur, professional, whatever, they all wear masks now. Like all the dancers wear masks all the time.
It's become a political statement.
And I think it's so ridiculous. They're doing classic ballets, from the 1800s, wearing masks. And it doesn't make sense to me. It just seems, I just feel like everybody's so brainwashed that it frightens me so much,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how I'm feeling, but I imagine it's worse up there.
My grandfather, I always say to him, how do you get it doesn't get to you? Because he gets upset when he sees it, but he doesn't let it affect him. He just passes it off after he watches it. He says you just can't let it get to you. And I don't know how you don't, but he's 92, so you can't let things get to you. There you go, right?
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this summer goes.
The other thing that I keep thinking, and I wanted to mention this to you before, is that, I've noticed in history, if you study history, that at the turn of a decade, things happen like radically change at the turn of a decade. It seems to happen so often. And then they usually stay that way for almost the entire decade. Like the Depression started in 1929, right? And it lasted until 1939. And the Jazz Age started in 1920, and it lasts till 29. And in '89, things seemed to change, and like in the early '90s, people got the attitude and the hip hop and everything, and things kind of went to crap, and music got really, really bad. And
Yeah,
I don't know. There's
the
something.
80s was better. Yeah.
There's something about the start of a decade that everything changes. So what I'm worried about is that this happened at the start of this decade.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that means that this entire decade, people are going to be wearing masks. That's going to go for like 10 years or something.
Well, yeah, they're going to keep talking about variants and stuff, and it looks like it's pretty much over.
Not here.
Here, there is no place now except for the doctor's office. The other day, you had to have it on in there, but
you're lucky though. You're lucky you live there, because here they said, oh, like last week they said, no, we can't relax the restrictions. It's too early to do so. So we still have to, every time we go in any building, we have to wear masks. Yeah. Comic store downtown, they can only have 5 people in the store at once, 6 feet apart everywhere, and like the mask. And my grandfather hates wearing the mask. He hates wearing it when he goes to grocery shopping. I hate that he has to wear it. I hate that they make him do that. It seems it's like punishment for some people, especially like older people,
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't like it. I just think it's wrong, because they say, oh, we're saving lives and everything, but I don't think there's proof of that,
Well, we'll have to see what happens.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's saving all the lives. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what all happens. It's just, there's an old, is it Chinese curse? May you live in interesting times. The times, you don't want to live in the times that are written about in history books.
Yeah.
The times
that could be worse.
Were the boring years. Those are the good years. But
like the 50s, they say, oh, the 50s were so boring and everything, but they were great times.
Yeah, well, the Korean War, that was a rough time, and the 50s were a great time. It was pretty much the height of American culture. I think I heard Lex Interior say that earlier today in an interview.
I feel like you don't realize though that those Beatles and the British invasion, they brought in a lot of the left-wing stuff.
I realized that. I like their music. I realized that did change the culture and the mores. But I think the Kennedy assassination, in conjunction with that, that's what caused. I think the Beatles were accepted even more so than they might have been, because it was right a couple of months after the Kennedy assassination, and people were looking for an escape, something that will take their minds off that.
See, what I get really so tired of is on the Ed Sullivan channel, a lot of people make comments to the effect that, the Beatles, that's the beginning of music. Nothing before that was good. Nothing mattered before that. And it bothers me so much when people say that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
I'm well liked on their channel though, because I don't air my opinions about this stuff, and I just give facts about the acts, which they don't do on the channel because they don't bloody well do anything, sometimes. But and people, I get more likes than almost anybody, so I feel accepted there. I like that. Like somebody was saying, they put so much effort into their videos. Like when they had Connie Francis singing La Paloma last week, if you put subtitles on for the video, all it said was singing in foreign language. They didn't even bother saying what language or transcribing it or anything.
It's funny. Oh well. Yeah. They
act like they're putting so much effort into it, but they're not. But I'm glad they're making the stuff available, even though they give bite-sized portions sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
She's one of the reasons I hate Dallas so much, because she was raped in Dallas.
Whoa, what?
Connie
Who?
Francis was raped in Dallas.
Oh, geez, I thought you were talking about someone else for a second. I'm not going to say, but
Who else are we talking about?
I don't know. I
Oh,
didn't know.
no, I was talking about Connie Francis.
I
Yeah,
forgot what you're talking.
there was
Yeah,
a hotel or motel, and
You know what happened. You know what happened.
well, she sued the hotel or something. But it's just stuff like that.
And he
know,
was never
I
caught.
was
either.
mugged over there. It's just the place I don't like.
That guy was never caught.
Well, it was never caught.
It was an African American guy, and
Yeah.
they never got the guy. And that was the beginning of the tragedies in her life. She's had so many tragedies in her life. Well, before that, actually, she got a nose job in the late 60s, and it was botched. They didn't do it right, and it affected her singing voice. So that was the beginning. And then she got raped, which is like the worst thing that could ever happen, get raped.
Singers shouldn't get nose jobs. That's their instrument.
Yeah. And you imagine a singer like her getting raped. You think there'd be more security than that? I mean, she's a legend.
Well, by then, she was not that popular.
Well, it was early 70s, and
Yeah, no one cared about the past then.
People liked horrible singers like Janis Joplin by then.
Oh, I don't like Janis Joplin.
What's that?
I don't like Janis Joplin.
I can't stand her. her. And now that I know that she's destroyed people's lives, like that ballet dancer who she hooked on drugs and destroyed her life, I like her even less now for that. She's a train wreck of a person, and I think she's a horrible singer. And they're people think she's so great, and I think they've got problems. They think that's great music.
I like the R. Crumb cover for that first album. I like the art.
I'm getting upset, but I was getting upset. Sorry, but also I tell you that Connie Francis' brother was killed in a mafia slaying as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That happened later on after she was raped. So so many bad things happen.
I've got either an autobiography or a biography of her called Who's Sorry Now.
Right. She talks about it in there. She talks about all of that in there. And of course, she wanted to marry Bobby Darin, but her father drove him off with a shotgun. So she never got over him. That was the love of her life, Bobby Darin.
Gosh.
So many bad things. She was a wonderful person. She is. She's still alive. She is. I can't believe.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting she's still around.
It's amazing she's still around.
Yeah, I've always loved Connie Francis.
I love her. She's one of my favorite singers of all time. And that's another thing that bothers me when people say, "Oh, her bleeding," like she's like a sheep bleeding. Her songs are all agonizing. If you don't like how
they build up to that crescendo where she's just really belting it out at the end.
That's the type of music I really like. That's the type of music I love. They need to post her more on the because she was on. Teresa Brewer and Connie Francis were on over 30 times, and they haven't been posted. Well, Teresa Brewer's never been posted, and Connie's only been posted a few times. So I mean, they posted Pearl Bailey like 30 something times. Harry Belafonte, they can't get enough of.
In country music,
they like him because he's a communist. That's why they like Harry Belafonte.
It was a lot like Connie Francis in country music as far as
she's a great singer too.
Was she ever on Ed Sullivan?
No. He never had a whole lot of country singers on until the end of the show, like the late 60s and 70s. He didn't have the much, like Johnny Cash was on once in the 50s. That was it. He didn't have much country music on there. But Connie should be posted more often. She's an amazing singer.
We probably should do a stream where we just talk about music, actually.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do that. And again, no offense to Pearl Bailey, but it's just their biases show. Their biases show.
I don't know. Did she have a hit song? I don't know much.
She had one hit song in the early 50s. It Takes Two to Tango. But I've
heard of that. I don't know if I've ever heard the song.
They're posting every single thing she ever did on the show. And sometimes she did the same song several times, so over different years. So she did like Tired and Nobody like several times. And they'll post every single time she did the song. And it's like, I don't know if we need every single version she did, but they think it's important. So, and
Yeah.
then you get Connie Francis, you hardly ever get Teresa Brewery. It's not right. It's not
Right.
fair, in my opinion. But hey, what can you
Is
do?
Teresa Brewer still alive?
No, unfortunately, she died quite a few years ago now because she had a rare disease that affected her neural system. Like it was really sad. She's an amazing person, such a sweetheart, and I think she's Ed Sullivan's favorite singer. She had a ton of hits in the 50s. She really represents the 50s, like the wholesome 50s, and that's how I fell in love with that decade. Actually, was Teresa Brewer was that's what got me into 50s music and early 60s. You know.
Well, cool. Yeah, let's do a music stream too. I guess
Yeah.
I'm ready to run here.
I'm very opinionated, but you don't mind, right?
No. As long as we keep it YouTube friendly, which I'm not even sure where the boundaries are on this. But anyway,
Screw
so
that. Let's just talk whatever we want.
but
As long as you're okay though, you don't get removed.
so I guess yeah, Graphic Man's gonna have a stream on Wednesday night. I don't know if I'm gonna be on it or not. I'm gonna try to dig up some war comics. But do you have any war comics?
Sad sack.
Sad Sack. Well, yeah, I didn't think about Sad Sack being a war comic, but you're kind of right.
Yeah, well, that's how he became popular, was in Yank magazine with the boys in World War II. That's
Right.
George Baker was in the army when he created Sad Sack
Yeah.
for his fellow soldiers.
So
Oh, by the way, did you know? You probably did, but the early Sad Sacks, there was no dialogue. The comics in Yank and the early Harvey comics have no dialogue either.
well, that actually might be better. Just like I think Gru, the Wanderer, would probably be better without words.
And he was a civilian when the comics started because the war was over. And it wasn't that popular. And then in issue 21 or 22, they said, we're going to put him back in the army. And then it became a big hit all over again.
Right. Well, a lot of things to look forward to, but I guess I'm going to run and.
Oh, I've got an issue of G.I. Juniors too.
Oh, yeah.
That's done by the same guys that did Sad Sack and Harvey comic, but it's kind of a war related, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I think. I can't think of anything else. I think that's it.
Yeah. So, trying to think. I guess better go see what's going on downstairs, and still have 7 people watching. So I'll say goodnight to everybody, and
Okay. I don't know who's here, but I'm going to guess Meyer Greenblatt. Thanks for watching. Movie World Comics, maybe.
maybe
Zombo. I'm guessing Zombo. It's always the same guys. So.
Could be Gold Key Geezer. Yeah, sometimes. I think Dr. Soul Rage. I don't know if he's still in or not. Oh wait, there's some more. There's a whole bunch of new stuff I didn't even know was here.
Was you hear that lightning, that thunder outside? Oh wow!
Did you have thunder?
Yeah, it's gonna be a storm. It sounds like.
Let's look at what Zombo's been saying. A lot of stuff here. So let's see.
Did you read that?
Yeah. Oh man, my computer was not showing these comments.
Grotto isn't old.
Let's see. Yeah, that's cool. They will find a way to heighten mask usage again.
Some people wear welders' masks now.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know what No Agenda is. I think I do. I think it sounds familiar. I think I've listened to that show. I'm probably subscribed to it, but I don't know if that's part of that Ethan Van Sciver stuff, or I'm not sure. sometimes I forget the names of shows, but I watch them all the time, but I don't remember their names. I subscribe to them and they pop up because a lot of the names are very similar to each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think Zombo's still. Oh, he's saying good night, fellas. Zombo's saying. So I guess he's one of the 6 that's watching. So I
Yeah,
guess
I knew that.
we'll head on out. And, let's see. End broadcast.